All right, there we go. So we're just sharing wins in the chat. I like to start these calls with some wins from your last week. And one of the big wins for me was at Grant's house, right? There's only about 8 of us that were in attendance. It was people were asking, how much did you pay to go to Grant's house? And the answer is $0. I paid $0. That invitation was for the top 10 partners. So if you guys remember, back in late December, early January, we were invited to promote Grant Cardone's offer. There was over 400 people they reached out to partner up and promote the Unbreakable Business Challenge, where 200 accepted, and really, I think they said like less than 50 actually did anything. 100 people made sales, but really like it was only like 50 of us who actually went all in. Out of those 50 people, I was lucky enough to land number 8 on the top 10 leaderboard, and they invited the top 10 people to spend a weekend at Grant Cardone's home in Miami, which was Tommy Hilfiger's former estate. Beautiful home. I still can't believe he brought us in. He says the first time he's ever allowed anybody in his home. The only 2 that didn't show up was Coach Stormy. She couldn't make it for some other obligation, and Russell Brunson didn't make it. He had a big challenge going on this week with Pedro and a few others. But it was really cool to spend the weekend with people like Bill Allen, Anthony Morrison, Dan Henry, Gloria Mayfield Banks. Who else was there? Brad Sumrick. I'll show you guys a photo here in a moment so you guys could see, but we had Spectacular there, Pete Vargas, Shonda Sumpner and her husband, Ash, were just great people. Jeremy Gabbert, Jared, who is the CEO of Cardone Enterprises. I'll show you guys a little bit more on that. Brian Walsh. But my big win was at that house towards the end. Jared, Grant, and Jeremy came up to me and like took me to the side, and they said, out of everybody here, we just want to thank you for going all in. We believe that out of everyone here at this house, you and your team stepped it up more than anybody here. We saw what you did. The actions you took, the coaching you provide your people for weeks and weeks after the fact. And we noticed it. And then I got about an hour with Jeremy Gabbert, who he runs. He's third in command over at Cardone Ventures, besides obviously Grant, Natalie, and Brandon. Jeremy runs everything from marketing and sales. And he spent an hour with me just showing him his computer, his team processes, his meetings, how he does his weekly reports and who reports to him, what they report to him, how they organize it. It was just invaluable, but just a great experience overall. But let's hear about some of your guys' wins before we get in and share the notes with you. And if you guys have any questions specifically about the experience, how it came about, what happened at day 1 and day 2, or, any random questions you might have about spending 2 days at Grant's home in Miami, I'm an open book and I'll share what I can. All right. So Theo's got a potential client. Congratulations, Theo. Good to see you here, by the way. Albert scaled back on his main job and sold a high ticket program. Was that your first one, Albert? Joe made a sale. David committed to starting your challenge. Let's go. I have some cool updates on challenge stuff for you guys today too. This may very well be our last live cold to client 5-day challenge. So for those of you who haven't been a part of it and you want to come through, we start Monday. I'm going to talk about why it's our last live one, what we're going to be doing differently. And I'm really excited about it, but this might be your last chance to get the cold to client delivered live. So just type C2C in the chat if you still haven't gotten an invitation to our challenge starting Monday. It's really, I think, invaluable to watch us and how we run this challenge live, the things we're doing behind the scenes on VIP, some of the cool things we're doing for VIPs. And if you've been through it before, you're already in the community. You could watch it for free inside of that group, but you still have to re-indoctrinate yourself, meaning you have to watch the welcome video, comment done, reintroduce yourself. But if you want to be on the VIP, you do have to commit to another VIP ticket. So Jeremy, if you want to reach out to anyone who's here, who's in the cold to client challenge already, but wants a VIP ticket, we have to send you a separate link, and we have to do it privately because, it requires people to buy a ticket first. So number one, if you haven't been through our challenge in the past, we'll drop a link right now for you to sign up. And for those of you who have already gone through it, but you want to attend VIP again, just say, I'd like to go VIP. Jeremy will send you a private message with that specific link. So you don't have to buy the general ticket again and the VIP. Just focus on the VIP ticket. All right, cool. Someone who's that? Anjali said completed for Facebook group setup with the Excel sheet from last week. Yeah, how's it going? Are you guys following the framework for part 1, 2, and 3 that we wrapped up last week? Let me know if you guys still need that PDF or that Google sheet with all the SOPs for Facebook group automation. We'd love to send that over to you, get you going on that. Michael's got clear in his next challenge, started to work on all the materials, and he has clarity. Anjali said, would love to hear about the agenda for the next, for the 2 days. Yeah, I'll share that with you guys. We played football. We shot some arrows. We really just hung out. It wasn't a ton of business stuff. Of course, when you get entrepreneurs together, you can't help but talk about business growth. And that was fascinating. So we did a few hour sessions at headquarters, his new office, and then we went to his house. Albert sold 7 high tickets and $2,600 in commissions each. That's massive. Congratulations, Albert. All right, Roger, we'll get you the VIP ticket link. I'll have Jeremy send that specific link over to you right now. But I know you have, but Jeremy, just confirm with others if they're already in the general before we send that VIP link. Candy says we are within 2 hours of where you were when you were at your mom's last week. Oh, you're near Tellico? Yeah, I was in Tellico Plains. I was already across the country. I said, I got to stop and see my mom. She's in Tellico Plains, Tennessee. So I landed there on Saturday after Grant's event, and I just left yesterday. I'm still a little jet lagged, but we're pulling through. We pushed our challenge back 2 weeks to do some editing. Awesome. Congrats, Taz. And Roger needs the sheet. All right, cool. Keep the comments coming. We're just gonna jump in here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share this document with all of you. I just want to show you guys, by the way, how I take notes at these masterminds I'm at. So 2 weeks ago, I was in Boise, Idaho, and I got to spend 2 days with Russell Brunson, Dan Kennedy, and their top 10 affiliates. I think 6 of us showed up. What's wrong with these people that aren't showing up to these types of events? Man, they missed out. But we spent 2 days at ClickFunnels headquarters, had an amazing time. We all got an hour dedicated with Dan Kennedy. I know some of you guys are here for the Dan Kennedy notes. I just want to say, like, I have 6 hours of recordings I'm listening to and transcribing and taking notes out of. So right now, I'll just show you guys what that looks like. And my conversations. Okay, so I use otter.ai, otter.ai. And if you look, I have almost 2 hours with Dan Kennedy interviewing Russell. I have the affiliate sessions that went almost 3 hours, afternoon sessions for another 2 hours, and then an hour and a half with Mark Jr. and Junior, who are the 2 attendees. So I will be getting these probably next week. We'll talk about more about that mastermind with Russell Brunson, Dan Kennedy, and the top 10 affiliates. It's just a lot more content than I expected to kind of transcribe. But for Grant, there's only about 2.5 hours of transcriptions and notes because we only did a few hours at headquarters on that first day. And then we went to his home, which there was really no recordings of that because we were just having a good time. And I do have some takeaways. I spent at least an hour with every attendee there, just getting to know them on a deeper level and seeing how we could collaborate in the future. And I'll share those with you here. So let me pull that up and I'll make sure you guys have a shareable link to this. Anyone with the link can view. Okay. So this will be the link I give to all of you right now. And again, you should have a folder. It's called Doug's Stuff, and you could save these notes there just so you're keeping track of, the things that we give you each week. So in the chat, you should be able to click on that and make a copy of what you're looking at here. And I'll just zoom in on this a little bit so you could see this a little bit better. All right, so this was our 2-day mastermind. Day 1, we were all just congregating in Miami. We had dinner at a really nice restaurant. Grant had to bribe the owner to give us outside seating. It was hilarious to watch it go down. The guy just doesn't take a no. He's like, there's a yes in there somewhere. I'm going to get the yes. He came back within like 5 minutes. I don't know what he had to do. I made a joke that he bribed, but I really don't know. But we ended up sitting outside right on the beachfront. It was amazing. Went back to our hotels. And then the morning we went to 10X headquarters, the new office in Miami, Ventura, I think is the town's name, right next to his current headquarters. It's a 12-story building, beautiful location. If you guys have seen some of the photos, we had like an all glass surrounding with all the windows. We were just looking out, and we spent about 2 hours, about 2.5 hours there, just talking about business. Some of the notes I'll share with you today. And then fun fact, I don't know when, but he'll be knocking down his old headquarters to build a high rise, which is crazy because that building is so amazing. But I believe it's only 1 or 2 floors. So he's going to make room for a high rise. But after that session, we took a shuttle over to Grant's home. This is his home behind us, right on Miami Beach. It's a former estate of Tommy Hilfiger. And when we arrived there, we really just hung out. We played backgammon. I think Grant won about 10 grand among everybody playing backgammon. You just couldn't beat the guy. I was smart enough not to gamble because I, number one, don't know that game. And number two, Grant is obviously good at what he does. So I wanted to keep my money, and I just watched others lose money. I think Dan Henry lost like $2,600 in the 10 minutes he played. We shot some arrows, as you could see here. We played some football on the beach. We had lunch, we had dinner. Just overall, a really cool experience. And I'll just let you guys know who all these people are if you don't know them. You have Shonda Sumner, Bill Allen, Spectacular. And I found out, yes, that's his real name. Brad Sumrock, Bill Walsh, Pete Vargas, of course, the man himself, Grant Cardone, Anthony Morrison, Jared. Jared is CEO of Cardone Enterprises, really good dude. Found out he lived a few blocks away from me here in Cardiff by the Sea, California, years ago. You have Jeremy Gambert. You have Ash, who is Sandra, like a Shonda. He says, I'm trying to remember. He said like a panda. So it's Shanda like a panda. Okay. So Sandra Sumner, Ash. You have Gloria Mayfield Banks. And then, of course, you guys probably know Dan Henry. And then there's me back here. And I just want to share with you guys some of the notes. And if you guys have any questions on this, Matt just said wild photo, right? I know, it's like, I'm still like pinching myself, like, how the heck am I in this room? And then the fact that Grant, Jared, and Jeremy came up to me at the end and was like, out of everyone here, you know, we saw the work you did. Because to be honest, like, these guys have $1 million follow, like million people list. Anthony Morrison, 2.5 million on his list. My list is like 5,000 people. So there were moments where I'm like, I don't know how I'm in this room right now, but it was really validating when, you know, they all came up to me and gave me that speech at the end. It was really, really, really special. So I just want to share with you guys Grant's biggest takeaway, and it's probably not what you think, but Grant's biggest takeaway from the affiliate partnership was just getting influencers in the industry together and collaborating. He's like, this right here means more to me than any amount of money that we could make together. It's, you know, the things I don't get to normally do, and really connect with other people that are doing amazing things. And he said, in fact, even if we don't do a partnership in the future, even if we don't bring on affiliates in the future, I still want to bring you all back. So I thought that was really, really cool that he doesn't even really care about the money and the leads generated from this thing. It was more just getting to know people like us. So that's really, really cool. And I'll talk about why he wasn't sure if he's going to do another affiliate partnership. And this might be good for all of you who are considering affiliate programs. It's somewhere here in the notes. But within like the first 5 minutes, there's going to be some random takeaways here, you guys. Just lean in. He got a phone call, answered it on speakerphone right in front of all of us. It sounded like a pretty serious situation. And Grant, in the middle of our meeting up in HQ, 10th floor of that room, he just took the call, handled it, shouted out a few things to his assistant. They took care of it. And he said, we do it right then and there and we move on. It works in chaos. I think chaos personally to me is creative. And it was really cool to see how their team has adjusted, how their culture has adjusted to on the fly pivots, and things that would have ended his career 10 years ago don't even faze him now. It's really fascinating. So I thought that was worth note. But what we started off the day with was talking about the Unbreakable Business Challenge results. And a big thing he said was, it's okay to break even on the front end. Like, even if you lose money on the front end, like, he didn't care about the profits from the affiliate partnership. But in total, for his Unbreakable Business Challenge, they had over 475,000 opt-ins to the Unbreakable Business Challenge. About half of those came from the affiliates. So the affiliates, we contributed half of the signups to his challenge. And then on top of that, they streamed the challenge live across 50 plus partners, social media platforms, including mine. And they use a tool called restream.io to do that. So we streamed on our profile and some of our groups and YouTube. Grant doesn't really count that towards like reach. He's like, I don't really care about the reach. I care about opt-ins. And front end conversions were 3% for VIP, which is really kind of cool to see what we did. We did 21% of the people that signed up to the challenge through our link, 21% of them upgraded to VIP. I think we had the highest upgrade to VIP. And I think it's just, we played to our strengths, right? We had direct communication with some of you here who were a part of that, and being able to personally have conversations with the people opting in, putting you all in a group chat who went VIP and giving you specific bonuses every level of the way. Bonuses for opting into the challenge, bonuses for VIP, bonuses for the 997 offer, right? So I think that's what really makes a difference for having affiliates come in and partner up. 2.2% of opt-ins bought the 997 offer. So it's kind of interesting to see that it wasn't much lower than the VIP take. Almost, I assume most of the VIPs took the 997 offer. And it just validates that if you're running any kind of online event, that your buyers are the VIPs, right? So I know my takeaway from this is doubling down on the VIPs of our challenge and really focusing on those VIPs, because that connection to those people to find out if it's a fit or not is going to determine who our clients will be. All right. And then we spend a lot of time with our clients. So it's important to me that we have that communication. There's people that have the money to invest in our academy that we've turned down and said, just from the way that you showed up this week and the things that you did and said or didn't do, like, I just don't think right now is the greatest time to partner up in our academy, because we do look at our clients in the academy as partners. So I want you to kind of think about it from that perspective, especially you're starting out and you're just getting your first high ticket sales. Sometimes it's okay to sacrifice a sale for more headaches and problems and stress down the line, right? Be specific with who you want to work with and hold those standards high. And some things we're considering doing, because I like to share with you guys, not only my takeaways, but what we're doing is for our challenges, we are considering 3 levels. And this is the first I've talked about this kind of publicly is, we're thinking about doing, when we do have new challenges in the future, doing a free ticket, and you get to only watch it on social media. You could watch our live stream on our Facebook profile or YouTube. And if you want to be a part of the actual community and the contest and the fun things we're doing, you have to buy a $47 ticket. We're considering actually making that $97 for our next time we do this. And then from there to be VIP is 97 now. We're going up to 197. And that includes being on the live Zoom room and spending an extra hour together and some other amazing bonuses we put into that. So just some takeaways is like, let's grow the reach. Let's get this out there and put it out there in social media. And if they want to be a part of the community, it's going to be a front end general ticket. If they want to be on the Zoom room, it's going to be a VIP ticket. So some of the things that we're looking at making changes to when we do decide to run future live events. So now out of 9,500 sales for the 997 offer, 1,400 were payment plans for that offer. They had a 1 pay, a 3 pay, and a 7 pay. Grant said the number one reason people don't buy is because they don't trust themselves. And my biggest takeaway out of all of this was that people prefer a program done, right? And with this 997 offer, let me know 997 in the chat if you guys were part of that offer that Grant put out there, his 1 week coaching program. And they decided that, people don't trust themselves to show up for 6 months, 12 months, or, unlimited access or lifetime access, because things have let them down in the past. So they actually said, we're going to do a 1 week program. You're going to go through a module a day, and you're going to have a 1 hour coaching session with Grant and his team. And that was their big offer for 997. It came with a ticket to GrowthCon, which I thought was really cool, because that's really where the money was made. They broke even on the challenge itself, and then the results came from GrowthCon. So you got a free virtual ticket included as a bonus when you bought that 997 offer. But they had a 60% show up rate to that live coaching, and the drop off was minimal, if any at all, because people know they could show up for 7 days. So one thing that this has kind of got me interested in is, maybe I'm really focused on my full-time Freedom Academy right now. It's a 6-month coaching program where we help you refine your signature virtual event, craft your presentation, learn how to sell from stage virtually or in person. Most of the people that we're working with are doing virtual stages. And we help you implement that and build systems and hire a team within 6 months to repeat this event every single month. Some of our clients are doing it multiple times per month. Some people are evergreening it and running it around the clock, 24/7, 365. And as much as I love that program, it does make me think, maybe people don't trust themselves to be a part of something for 6 months. And maybe we could sell a 3-day workshop for 10 grand. I invested 40 grand in a 2-day workshop with Grant and his team, and it was good, but I know I can do something that would help my audience specifically get better results in less time, where they don't need to trust themselves to show up for 6 months. Hey, can you trust yourself to show up for 3 days? Absolutely you can, because you just show up for 5 days and here's a workshop we're going to do, and you're going to go through it in 3 days. You're going to have this all built out. Right. So it's just some ideas I'm playing around with. Not right now. We've got some things that we're really focused on, and I don't like switching things up. But maybe for those of you who haven't put out an offer, if you're thinking about putting out a year-long offer, or a lifetime access offer, or a 6-month offer, a 12-week offer, maybe you just launch a masterclass. Say, hey, I'm going to host a 1-day event on Zoom. It's going to be $1,000. Right. Your delivery is 1 day. You don't have to worry about fulfillment. Really, it's 1 day. So if I could go back and start over, I'd probably lead with that instead of launching, some long offer. It's easier for you to deliver. It's easier for your people to commit to. So that was a really big takeaway. I don't know what we're going to do with that at all, if anything, but it's fascinating. So GrowthCon results. GrowthCon, which was Grant's, I believe, 3-day event, right? Is it 3 or 4 days? It felt like a year. We were there for only a few days, but it was a long event. But GrowthCon was his 3-day event in Las Vegas. Let me know if you guys were there in person. All right. So GrowthCon broke industry records and did over $115 million. So yes, they broke even on the 500,000 leads that they generated, right, through ads and paying out the affiliates. But they did $115 million at GrowthCon. Half of that was education. So they sold primarily 2 offers. One was 10K, one was 40K. I didn't know this until recently because I was in person. They only showed us the 40K offer. And then virtually they showed a 10K offer. So I thought that was really fascinating. And the other half was syndication, meaning those people that have a lot more money, that are accredited investors, invest in Cardone Capital, and they invest in their real estate fund over there. And what I love about this is Grant said, education leads to syndication. Grant helps business owners increase their business revenue and profits, and then teaches them how to invest with Cardone Capital. He basically says your money sitting in banks right now is the worst thing you could do, right? Even if it's not a lot of money, take it out of the banks, go put it in something tangible, something real that isn't going to collapse. Like real estate isn't going away. The banks are failing, right? It's sitting in these protected accounts, even if it's protected in some kind of other, retirement fund, earning less than sometimes 3-4%, where you could go invest in an asset that's going to pay you out sooner. It's more liquid. It was really fascinating, but he sells the education to online business owners and actual real business owners too. Not that online's not real, but you get it. And then he helps them make more money, teaches them how sitting in that money in a bank account isn't the best thing, and teaches them how to invest in his fund. So now GrowthCon really had 3 offers, even though most of us thought it was 1. So if you were in person in Las Vegas, and this isn't really anything useful for me at this moment, but I will say in the future, when I start doing more in-person events, I'm 100% taking a play out of the playbook here and doing this. Last year, they had a 40K offer, and they didn't have anything on virtual. So virtual barely converted into that 40K offer, but people in person took it up. Like a third of the room took them up on the 40K offer, but virtual flopped. So this year they said, we're going to make a 40K offer called Total Business Transformation to everybody that's in person from stage. And during that presentation, they went to virtual and they cut to the back. And I believe Jared presented a 10K offer. I think it was called Total Entrepreneur Transformation. Let me know if that's not true, because I didn't buy that offer, so I'm not sure what that one was. But they made a 10K offer to those on virtual. And When Grant thinks about the pitch, he says, what's the pitch? And what do we need to add to it to make it like, okay, now it's a no-brainer? Because when Grant first heard the pitch for the 10K offer, he's like, what's the no-brainer here? And I think all of us, including myself, are missing that no-brainer offer. Right? We have to really add that thing that makes it foolish if they don't invest. So they added one workshop that each of these attendees could attend every single month. So one workshop per month, that's 12 workshops in the year. These workshops separately sell alone for about $5,000 each. So if you do the math, that's about $60,000 in value that they've stacked on top of the last bonus of that 10K pitch. And I've been to some of these events. They're phenomenal, right? They have their people's workshop, their marketing workshop, sales workshop, the boot camp. They have leadership, finances, all the things. I've attended about half of them so far. But what they did is they didn't, just sell the 10K offer on virtual. They asked specific questions during the event to highlight the people doing $1 million a year in business. They then reached out to those people doing $1 million in business and booked one-on-one breakout sessions during the event. So if you were on virtual and you said, hey, I have $1 million business, they were reaching out to give you a strategy session and letting those people know that, there's another offer they could upgrade to. It's a 40K offer. And they go over what that offer looks like. And it included the 10K offer that they were already sold on. Another fascinating thing that Grant did was $1 million breakfast. So he ran it as a separate event entirely. So if you were at GrowthCon, yes, you got a free ticket to his breakfast, his $1 million breakfast, day one, before day one event even started. But they ran ads and marketing campaigns publicly in the area of Las Vegas to get people to that free breakfast. So that's what they did. They got people in there that didn't have a GrowthCon ticket. And what they found was that people were there and they sold a crap ton of tickets to GrowthCon to say, hey, we start today. It's happening in a few hours. If you want a ticket, we've got a few $20,000 tickets left, a few $10,000 tickets, but we have plenty of room for VIP at $5,000 and executive tickets for $997. So he sold tickets to the event. They sold a few packages. In this breakfast, they pitched a $440,000 offer. They downsold a $180,000 downsell offer. And then, of course, people end up leaving there with tickets to GrowthCon, where they now, in the back of their mind, were pitched a $440,000 offer and $180,000 downsell. So when they saw the offer for $40,000 in the actual event on day 2 and day 3, they might have thought, well, I might not buy the $500,000 offer, but that $40,000 offer sounds pretty good. And now because they see the value, right? It's called the price anchor and the price marinade. And something that was really fascinating to me was like, Grant even told Dan Henry, like, dude, do you have $1 million offer? And Dan's like, no, I don't have $1 million offer. He's like, make $1 million offer. Don't even care if you sell it. But if you make $1 million offer, people know you have $1 million offer. They say, I might not go for the $1 million offer, but that $60,000 offer seems much more attractive now and doesn't seem nearly as high of an investment, right? That's the price anchor or the price marinade, some might call it. So write this down. Takeaway for all of you. If you're coming up with your offer and maybe you have an idea for an offer, you have an offer that's $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 or more, go and write down what would it take for you to feel comfortable pitching someone for $100,000. What could you deliver for $100,000? And something I've spent time this week doing is writing down what I would help clients with if they were to invest $100,000 with me. And I don't care if no one buys it, because I know, number one, I'm giving so much that's going to be a lot of work for me. But the idea of having that offer is to make you feel more confident in the offer that you're selling, right? So if you have a $15,000 offer, people that know you have a $100,000 offer, makes the $15,000 investment seem a lot more affordable. Is that making sense? So an action step for all of you is really sit down tonight and say, here's my $100,000 offer. Here's everything I'd be willing to do for someone that paid me $100,000, and talk about it. What you're going to find is someone's going to buy it, right? I started coming out with a $30,000 offer that I didn't even want to sell. People took me up on it. And now we've increased that to $50,000 because the truth is I don't want to do that work for $50,000. But what I'm hoping to do is leverage that, and I'll still sell 3 a month. That's what our goal is. And I don't love that offer, but I have a team helping me with it. But it's really making it seem more affordable to work with me at the $15,000 level. All right. Is that helpful for you guys? So Grant, again, and by the way, that $40,000 offer I took him up at GrowthCon, I went to a 2-day virtual event. I'm sorry, a 2-day in-person event in Sedona, Scottsdale, Arizona. And at that $40,000 2-day event, they pitched again the $440,000 offer at the end with the downsell of $180,000. So could you imagine paying 40 grand to sit in a 2-day event just to get invited to the next level? At first I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I paid 40 grand to get pitched. And then I'm like, damn, I can't believe I even reacted that way, because this is genius. Like, we should all be doing this, because number one, they know that the offers for the right people are going to get them to the next level in business. But it made me think of how much I'm missing out by only having one offer. And for now, I'm going to stay focused on that one offer because that's my path. I will roll out a higher level offer at some point later this year, but I'm committed to where I'm at. And that, a lot of people come, like, they try to do the value ladder thing. They're going to say, I'm going to have my low ticket, my mid ticket, my high ticket, and then a monthly reoccurring thing. And if anything, I think out of all of this, I would say focus on your high ticket offer and then have an ascension offer. So maybe you have a 10K offer, focus on your $50,000 offer or your $100,000 offer, and then go roll out your low ticket monthly recurring revenue ticket thing. Cause then you could pay someone on your team to manage that for you, hands off. You don't got to worry about collecting payments and, chasing churn and people that are dropping off and changing their cards. Like, that will burn you out. Right. So that's really my big takeaway of the way this offer worked at this event. One of the big takeaways here, as you could see, was sometimes the goal isn't just to make money, it's to do something big that no one has done before and see that this guy's for real and I want to do something with him. Right. So what could you do to stand out in your industry? Is it running an event once a month? Is it running a webinar every single week? Right. I met Anthony Morrison this week. The guy runs a live event every Thursday, hasn't missed one in decades. No wonder why he's got an email list of 2.5 million. No wonder why he's got millions of dollars in the bank and he's now starting TV shows and things like that. He stayed committed. Right. So when I think that I'm working hard, I'm like, this guy shows up every week, and that's what I'm trying to do here on these Thursdays, and let this grow and be an example for everyone here that you can commit. And by the way, like, we rearranged the time today, right? You're in control. I know some people probably got upset about that, but at the end of the day, I just got home from a trip. I want to make sure I got the notes ready for you guys. I'd rather show up prepared than not at all. So you get to determine. If you can't be live on a Thursday, say, hey, we're going to meet next week, right? We take one Thursday off every month to do our live event. So I don't want to do both, or I just want to stay focused on one thing at a time. But anyway, so I highlighted this part. You put out a $440,000 offer there on day one, and it makes the actual offer they want to sell, which was the 40 or the 10K offer, seem like much more affordable to invest in. Right. That was fascinating and something we're kind of already doing, but I'm definitely going to do a bit more of that. There's some other notes here you guys could take a look at, but I'm just going to speed things up and get through the takeaways. But one thing Grant said is if they could have fixed anything, it would have been the show up rate. Why is this important for me? Because it tells me even people at the highest levels are struggling to do, certain things. So we got to pay attention to the bottlenecks, and any one of you could go piggyback off this right now and go create a program helping people increase their show up rates to their live events. Right. So I think we make things complicated. I think about my academy. It's a great program. We get amazing results for our clients. We help them, launch their signature virtual event and repeat it every single month by building systems and hiring a team to run this event for them. But part of me thinks, like, can't I just go create a program showing people how to fill their virtual event? No matter, because there's people that will say, I want to come work with you, Doug, but we don't want to do a 5-day challenge. We don't believe in that model, which I think is foolish, because if you look at all the top dogs and the biggest internet marketing launches, they're doing 5-day challenges, record-breaking events. They're all 5-day challenges. But anyway, if I were to create a program called Sold Out Virtual Events, which we've kind of already started to help our clients with, I don't have to go teach the event model. I could say, hey, you're already doing events. You already got that taken care of. I'm just going to show you how to fill it. I'm going to teach you how to sell out your virtual events with organic, with paid, with different joint ventures. So like, can you solve the problem that the market is having that actually they want it solved in the way that you're solving it? So pay attention to what these big guys are doing and where are the gaps coming from. You'll notice this week, Russell Brunson's doing a 5-day challenge with Pedro. They're going to sell an offer. I think they opened it today. Now, it's a great program, but what people are buying is a course. They're not going to get access to Russell and access to Pedro, and they're going to have questions and they're going to need help. They're going to be sold on the challenge model this week. And then there's people like me who could service that gap. I could say, hey, like you're already doing a challenge. I see what you're doing. You're going through the course and you probably wish you had someone to ask questions to. Now, I know I'm not Russell or Pedro, but I'm not putting thousands of people into my event every month. Our goal is 100 people in our event each month. Would it be helpful to you if I could show you how to get 100 people that buy a ticket to your event and how to increase your show ups, increase your engagements, increase your conversion, sell one-to-many without sales calls? They're going to be like, yeah. So now I could service that gap in the market with my program. So I want you to think about what are the big problems in the industry that even the big dogs aren't solving? And how can you take your slice of the pie and make it a win-win-win for everybody? It's not competitive when you find that slice and solve the problem. Russell would be happy for me to piggyback off of this and help people with challenges because they can't reach everybody. They just want people to use ClickFunnels longer. Are people that going to, have a failed event going to stick with ClickFunnels? Probably not. They're going to cancel. So if I can help them have a successful event and build a system to repeat it every month, and they're going to continue to use that software, and they credit ClickFunnels and Pedro and me to their success, we all win together, including the people investing. So I hope that helps you guys a little bit when it comes to like, what's a problem I could solve in the market? What's that gap I could fill? And know that just because you're not the expert, it's actually more beneficial to you because you get to reach more people. They get to reach more people through you. And that's really the ripple effect. All right. So another takeaway was the data will show you the gaps you can improve for the next time. So Grant noticed that affiliates had a much higher show up rate, right? He had this big problem show up rates, but he said the affiliates had a much higher show up rate because we were all in contact with our signups, more than Grant and his team could do, right? They had 475,000 people in this challenge. Do you think they could reach out to every single one of them? No, but partnering up with us, we could. And I was in contact with every single sign up for our challenge, every single VIP, every single person buying the 997 offer. And I had bonuses trickled out throughout every level upgrade to really solidify that decision. So now I'm looking at what worked there and how can I have bonuses for showing up to these live free trainings, right? We're giving you a bonus every time you show up to these. When you buy our challenge ticket, right? We have a challenge every single month. We're giving you a bonus for that. When you become a VIP, we have bonuses for that. When you join our program, we have bonuses for that. So think about not just selling a product, but enhancing it with what's the objections people are going to have and how could you lay a bonus in there that solves that objection or helps them get the outcome faster. And that's really where we're looking at our offer right now and saying, all right, we have a lot of bonuses. Is this bonus speaking specifically to solving a problem that's holding people back from investing? And dissect your offer stack and really see what by the way, we do this on day 2 of our cold to client challenge. And it might be just beneficial, just come to that one day. I'm not saying just show up for one day, but like that day alone is worth a ticket. So out of 400 partners, 200 did anything, 100 really went all in. The top 10 of us showed up every day to drive results. What I really loved about this experience of getting to know Grant, he does what's right. He really took care of his affiliates. I've partnered up with several things in the past. And just to show you what kind of team player Grant is, they went out of their way. They credited 1,100 sales to affiliates, times 1,000, that's over $1 million in revenue that they could have kept for themselves. And they said, if there was any co-attribution, meaning that that person clicked on our link or Grant's links, they gave us the credit. We ended up getting, I think, 15% more than we expected to get paid out for that event because of that. Some other interesting stats they shared with us is selling out next year's event during the current event. So they really focused on filling those diamond tickets, premier tickets, VIP tickets. He said in his eyes, they didn't focus on that enough, but they were really focused on the core offer. But I think that's a pretty big win. You sold 92% of your diamond tickets for 20 grand. Or I think there was probably a little bit of a discount there for buying them early bird, but that's still pretty amazing. Right. So how can we take that? Maybe we sell tickets to future events, future workshops during our current events. I don't know how we would do that right now, but it's definitely got my ears. Fascinating for in-person. Again, for those of you guys who are not doing in person, it's probably relevant, but it is fascinating. He sells every seat 1.2 times. So they oversell their events by 20%. If it were up to Grant, they would sell it by 40%. And he says, hey, even if it goes bad, people are upset and it's being oversold. He's like, I would just pull out a camera and film it. I'd film everybody going nuts and put it on social media. Like, it just shows you, like, the guy thinks different, right? Attention is the game of marketing. Deal with the repercussions later. People forget about it. It's just a different mindset. Now, here's why he's considering not doing an affiliate launch in the future. It's, again, his favorite thing was just getting around us and collaborating and meeting us, which I thought was really cool. But Grant likes to change his mind. He's like, I would have changed the offer. I would have changed a lot of the marketing probably 10 times over. And his team's just been, accustomed to making these pivots on a fly. But having affiliates, he knew he couldn't do that because he can't just go change stuff if we're already dedicated to the campaigns we've written and things like that. So his question was, well, next time we do this, do we have affiliates or do we just spend twice the amount of money to generate the same amount of leads and have more input and control? And we still do something fun for partners anyways. So Grant really didn't run the partner launch for revenue. He did it to gain new partnerships and collaborations. I know a lot of the people that promoted it took some of the money that they, made, including myself, and put it back into Cardone Ventures, either through education or syndication. So I thought it was really brilliant. I'm going to pause here before I get to the member questions. A few of us got a chance to ask questions. But if there's any questions on, the event itself, right? The mastermind, if there's any questions on the Unbreakable Business Challenge launch, or if there's any questions on GrowthCon, and hopefully this is valuable for you guys. Let me know if there's at least one little nugget you've written down or pulled from this. I know I'm fire hosing you all right now, but take a moment, drop in the chat any questions you have, or feel free to raise your hand and we could get you unmuted to come up here. Haley says many questions. Or I could keep going, but I'd like to at least pause to digest some of the things that we've just gone over. Let me get Taz up here. Here you go. Should be on the unmute yourself. Tazadak, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Peace and blessings. How are you, man?
Good. I'm doing real good.
Just a quick question. I know you said you may change your challenge up, right? So I was wondering, like, what's the difference? Because you're saying, like, if it's free, they get the group. And then you said, this is your thoughts. If it's free to get the group, but then if they, I think you said you have $47 tickets to get the Zoom link, and then an upgrade for VIP. What would be like the benefit or the what would be like basically the benefit of them going to the Zoom room?
Yeah. So I'll give you some clarification here. So we used to do free challenges. We did free challenges for 14 months in a row. So no one paid anything. We just presented our offer on the last day of day 5 of our challenge. And we decided that we were pouring so much energy into this and our show-ups were down, our engagements were down, our conversions were crap. So I'm like, I'm gonna do a paid event. So I started doing paid challenges, right? I think the first move was free and then VIP ticket. So if you're running a free event, if you're doing a free challenge, I would recommend getting people to a Facebook community, some kind of community. It doesn't have to be Facebook, and they get to watch it in that community live stream. If they want to be on the actual Zoom, like we all are right here, it's a VIP ticket. And then you could end the live stream and spend extra time Q&A with the VIPs only. So that's the hybrid. When I went paid, you had to pay to be a part of the community. So we charge $47 to join the Facebook group. If you want to be on the Zoom room, like we all are right here, it's $97 for the VIP upgrade. At the top of the hour in the community, when we're live streaming, we end that live stream. Only the VIPs get to stay on Zoom to be a part of the extra hour that we do. So what we're considering adding now is it's still the same thing as a paid challenge, right? $47 for a ticket. You get to join the Facebook community. You get to be a part of the contest. You get to do the work and, get the workbook and all the assets. VIP upgrade is $97. You get to be on the actual Zoom room and get an extra hour a day live on Zoom for stuff like this, Q&A. The addition we would say is let's just stream it live. Let's stream it live to our YouTube channel. And the people watching there can't get the workbook. They can't be part of the contest. They can't join the community. They can't get anything we're actually doing unless if they buy a ticket and join the community. So it's just another way to expand the reach and get it out there. And who knows? I'm assuming people would see all the things going on, want the workbook, want the assets we're giving, want access to the community. So I'll probably spend, if we do decide to do this, I'll spend the first 5 minutes talking about if you're watching this on YouTube or you're watching this on Facebook, there's a workbook, there's assets, there's a community, there's a contest, there's all this fun stuff going on that you're going to want. And you can watch this for the next 5 days live on YouTube without being a part of that. But if you want to come network and collaborate and get the things we're providing, it's $47. Come join our community. Here's the link in the description. So it's just expanding the reach. That's really what that's about.
No, that makes sense. I got it. Because now I see what you're saying. Because before you didn't say the YouTube part or the other part. So now I get it. Like putting it out there. That makes a lot of sense, right? I like that. Yeah, I like that. But hopefully once we get ours up and running good, we'll do something like that. But yeah, for anyone listening, if you haven't, invested with Doug is in Full-Time Freedom Academy. Me and my wife were in it. We ran our first challenge last month. Came out great. We hopped on the phone with Doug like 2 weeks ago. He gave us some edits that we should be doing. So we're working on those edits and going to do it again. But it's worth it. His program is worth it with how he teaches you and how he teaches you how to put together your actual challenge. But hands down, is worth it.
I appreciate that, Tazdak. And you know what? I want to throw it back to you and just like shout out to you for doing the work. There's a lot of people that will see, they'll come to our challenge, which we, to be honest, we market this. We're like, come to our challenge, spy on us, and go learn how to do this on your own. Right. And the smart ones hire us to help them because they'll see that it's a lot of work. And there's a lot of people that go do a challenge on their own and then they give up. The people that invest, the hardest part is running that first event. And it's not about the slides. It's not about filling that event. I think the biggest takeaway that we could help, which I helped Tazdak with on that call, was presenting the information in a specific way, speaking in a certain way, really key differentiators to do this on day 1, day 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's really learning how to sell one-to-many. And there's specific things that I'm continuously learning about running events. And it's more about the communication than it is the technical and all the other things. But Tazdak showed up, he did his first event. And now he's ready for doing the second one. And he's going to be someone who goes and does this every single month, if not more. And that's really where the breakthroughs happen. Look at Anthony Morrison, who does an event every Thursday. He runs events on a monthly basis, bigger events. We look at Shonda. I'll go over some takeaways from Shonda. Man, she's got me playing small in my mind. I'm like, I'm only doing one event a month. She's literally doing an event every day of the month. And the way she looks at it is, I do 1 hour a day live on social media. That's my make money portion of my business. It's 1 hour a day. It's not that big of a deal. And it reminds me of the quote that the amount of money you're making online is directly correlated to the amount of offers you're making online. For me, I'm making an offer, to our event every Thursday here in this event. And then 2 days a month during our challenge, I have an invitation to the next step for the people that I consider ready or that I could see myself working with. So it's really only 4, 5, 6 offers a month. Now, imagine at the level I'm at making 6 figures a month. If I did that, there's potentially 23 more days I could do that a month. That's like quadrupling my revenue if I were just to double down and do it more. So what's great about this is people like Tazdak who are running events more and more, you get to test more. You get more comfortable making offers one-to-many. You get content creation. Everything falls into place when you commit to something and you keep showing up. And sometimes it takes an investment to do that. So I love the questions. I love what you're doing. Great to see you here. I appreciate the feedback too. I didn't ask for that.
Can I have one more thing?
One more thing? Yeah.
Based upon what you said, I know real quick, based on what you said, we went through your challenge. We went to, looked at the videos and say, okay, we're going to try to do this ourselves. We try to piece it together. But we got to the point where like, you know what? Man, all the details and everything like this, even though you can kind of get it, it's like, no, we need to invest in the program, go through it, get on the phone call, get the things that, those little nuances that you're going to miss, and just invest. I just wanted to add that, you can try to do it by yourself, or you can get a team, get with Doug and the team, try to do it, do it faster and better. That's what we did. I just wanted to add that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much. All right, guys, we're gonna come back to Q&A. But I have two more things I want to do here today. And I think while we got you here, because we're at the top of the hour, I'm going to go another hour, probably, if you could stick around. What I want to share with all of you, Dan Henry, myself, Anthony Morrison, a few of us got to ask Grant questions. Not everybody got a chance to, but I want to give you guys, you have the transcriptions of most of it. But I want to give you guys some key takeaways from every question that was asked to Grant and what he ultimately answered. And then I have specific names at the bottom that I didn't get a chance to really type up takeaways, but I want to give you like really short, actionable takeaways from each person I sat down with over the course of 2 days that I'm going to start implementing into my business immediately. I already started to implement some of this. So that's going to be what our second half is going to look like today. And then we'll do a wrap up Q&A where we'll bring you up. If you guys want to unmute and come up, we'd love to have you. But while I have all of your attention, like I mentioned, our cold to client challenge, we do it live every single month. If you're unfamiliar with this, or if you've been through it and want to come through it again, the reason why this might be the last version we're doing it live is because I came across, I've known of Anthony Morrison for a long time. He has a tool called Challenge Fuel that allows you to automate your challenge. And he has he has his webinar fuel, automates your webinars. I'm not really interested in the webinar model. I love the challenge model, but he has a tool called Challenge Fuel that we're going to be taking a look at. And he's convinced me that, if you're doing one event a month, you could make 4 times the revenue by doing it 4 times. And even if it does drop off the conversion a little bit, by running it 4 times versus once a month, you're going to be able to make a lot more revenue coming in and focus more of that time focused on your clients, which is where I love to spend my time. So probably likely in June, we're going to roll out an automated 5-day challenge. It's going to look live. It's going to seem live, and there will actually be parts where I do jump in live, but most of it's going to be evergreen. It's a fascinating tool. I'm going to be doing some exploring with this, where I could stream my challenge live every single week, just like Russell Brunson's doing, just like a lot of the other people are doing. And I'm gonna help my clients start learning this model as well. But we're gonna do this challenge a little bit differently this month because I know that we're gonna use these replays for that live stream. So this is gonna be our last time doing this specific challenge live. I'm a big fan of live challenges. I teach live challenges, so I'll do future challenges. But this specific cold to client 5-day challenge is gonna show you how to craft a signature event, specifically a 5-day challenge that will not only show you the agendas, what to do, what to say, how to say it during your 5 days, but you'll leave with this thing built out. You'll get our funnel template. You're going to get our checklist. You're going to get our slides. You're going to get all the content, learn how to fill your first or next 5-day challenge. You're going to learn the systems to make it repeatable. And then we're going to show you how to actually hire a challenge assistant part-time that can run this event for you over and over again. And that is our cold to client 5-day challenge. And I want to present to you guys what that looks like for those of you who haven't joined it in the past. Some of you guys have. Again, if you already have been through this in the past, reach out. We'll give you the link to upgrade to VIP. You don't have to buy a ticket again. We'll send you the VIP ticket. But if you haven't joined the cold to client challenge, this will be the last opportunity to see this go down live. It's Monday, this coming Monday, May 22nd. And we're going to give you our checklist, our SOPs, our funnel template, our workbook templates. We have a lot of assets that will really shortcut your path to building out a signature event. And if you're feeling like I'm not ready for a signature event, at least come through it, see how we're running it, get the assets. And I promise you by the end of the week, we're going to have you ready. You're going to feel ready to do this. And if you're thinking, I don't have an offer, day 1 and day 2, we're all about your offer. We're going to help you position your offer, realize you don't have to have anything built and ready to launch. You just need to have it named. And we're going to have that. I'm going to show you exactly how I would do this if I were starting over. I wouldn't have anything built and ready. I would run an event, launch the offer, and then fill it and then deliver it with that audience, which is a better experience for them, right? So we're going to spend a lot of time on day 1 and 2 on the offer creation. We have the first bonus of the checklist. Second bonus is our 6-figure challenge toolkit. So this is a great resource for those of you who are going to go through our challenge, build out your signature event, or refine the event you're already running, because you're probably missing a few things. You're probably missing, the price anchor on day 1. You're probably missing the communication. You're probably missing how to communicate, and you're over teaching and you're over delivering, which might be a good thing, but it's hurting your sales. It's hurting your show ups. It's hurting your engagements and your conversions. This specific resource I'm going to give you just for signing up to the event is exactly how we took our event and made it repeatable and end up earning 6 figures every time we run this event. So this is what it's going to look like when you go to the link in the chat right now. Jeremy just dropped it. We only have a few days left to sign up. I would say today's the last day to join. Today's the last day to join because tomorrow we're going to be putting people on teams. There's a really fun contest we put together. We give away grand prizes, and you're going to be on team with 4 other people. And if you don't sign up today, you're not going to be able to get a chance to experience that. And I find that people that are on teams meet some amazing people. They get better results. They stay committed. And we'll make sure that those of you guys are signing up today on Thursday, May 18th, are placed on a team. And if you don't want to be on a team, you don't have to be, but you'll still be a part of the contest. And if you sign up even tomorrow on Friday, if you're watching this, it's going to be too late to sign up and be put on a team. So I want to make sure you guys know that today's the last day for that. Day 1, again, we're going to really talk about what you must understand, maybe why you're not getting the clients you wish to attract. You're attracting the wrong people. Maybe your offer isn't what you should be putting out there. We want to talk about what's going to make your life easier. You're going to feel more successful and happy around helping a specific audience. And it all comes down to your offer. So we're really going to help you position your offer on day 1. Day 2, we're going to refine that offer, and we're going to use that offer to design your challenge or your virtual event from. It doesn't have to be a 5-day thing. It could be a 1-day workshop. It could be a 3-day challenge, but I'm going to give you the frameworks that you just have to include no matter what kind of event you're doing. All right. We'll talk about the differences of that, but day 2 is really about helping you find what your offer looks like, how to refine it, how to position it to make an invitation one-to-many. So you could fill your offers in literally 1 day a month. So day 3, we're going to come up with your topic, your tagline, your event name, your agendas, all the copy you need to go out there and market this and build out your slides. We're going to give you the shortcut. Day 4, once you have all that figured out, we're going to help you fill your challenge. I'm going to show you the top few ways that we're filling our challenge every single month, organically, and even one paid is a very small portion of how we fill our challenges now, but I will show you a simple, very affordable paid strategy that you could use to fill your challenges, not only the first time, but over and over again. So day 4 is all about filling your event. And then day 5, we're going to spend a lot of time about conversions. I'm going to show you how to position your offer, a few things you have to start doing even before your event starts, the communication, how to speak, how to communicate your value, and the way to do on each day that leads up to conversions on the last day of your event. We'll talk about when to start talking about your offer, when to make the invitation, right? We do it on day 3, day 4, and day 5. I'll show you the different ways to do that. But ultimately, people throw around the word conversion hacks. I want to talk about what conversions really are and why most people aren't making conversions, because they're focusing on the hacks, and the hacks aren't going to be what help you get your clients' results. All right, so this is what we're doing. We're going to be doing a contest. We give away over $10,000 worth of prizes and giveaways. We have some amazing assets we're going to be giving to you for just joining this event. And it's 5 days live training, 1 hour a day with me. Some people were worried about the time. Don't worry about the replays. Like if you can't be on live, you get to watch that live stream. You have 7 days until after this event is over to watch. So we don't want you to get behind. But if you can't be on the live stream every day starting next Monday, you have 7 days to catch up. Right? All of you could find 1 hour in your day to watch the replay. You're also going to get our worksheets, our templates, our tools to help you implement this, what you're going to be learning. Consider this a workshop where you're going to actually leave with things implemented and results. You're going to plan out your first or next conversion event. You're going to craft your offer, refine your offer, and position your offer. Even if you don't have an offer yet, we're going to help you solve that. You're going to get questions answered live every single day. We have our contest and prizes. We're going to put you on teams. We're going to show you how you can do that for your own events. And then we have some bonus sessions, including our conversion event system walkthrough, how we make this repeatable every month, sales CRM walkthrough, and how to automate the point tracking. We have a brand new point automation system that Jeremy created that we're going to be showing you guys behind the scenes of how that works. And then one thing I really want to do that we haven't done before is talk about evergreening your event and my future plans for our challenge and how we're going to start running it every single week. And it's going to seem live, but it's going to be recorded, and how I could pop in and out at any point if I choose to. Right? That's really about taking this event to the next level where it's truly hands off. And that's going to be the first time we've ever shared this before. We've never shared this in the past during our 5-day event, but we're going to be doing a bonus session going over exactly what that looks like for all of you. All right, this is $47 to join for a ticket. So you can go over that link right now, and it's $47 for a ticket. You're going to join the group. You're going to get an immediate email today. Make sure you join the community. There's a little bit of pre-work to do to watch our welcome video, introduce yourself in the community. There's over 300 entrepreneurs on the same path as all of you that you get to network with and collaborate with. This community, by the way, you keep access to it. So if you're already in there, awesome. If you want to be a part of this live challenge and you're already in that community, just say VIP in the chat right now. Jeremy will send you a specific link so you can upgrade to VIP. We do require you to buy another VIP ticket just because of the things we're going to be giving to you. I mail you out some specific things I'll show you here in a moment. And we want to make sure that you're committed. All right, so $47 for general, $97 for VIP. If you're wondering how to upgrade to VIP, first you have to buy the $47 ticket. Once you invest in the $47 ticket in the funnel, the next page is going to invite you to upgrade to VIP. You don't have to, but I want to show you 2 reasons today why you're going to want to do that, right? Number one is we're going to give you our exact challenge funnel template, the live version that we're using right now. Even if you already have this template, we've made changes since last month. We're constantly improving. We're constantly optimizing and testing this funnel. I've invested heavily into our team to develop this funnel and refine it. So we're going to give you our word for word, image for image. And my goal obviously is for you to go make the changes required. We don't want you to just take our exact challenge template and run traffic to it because that's not going to help you. But I've gotten templates in the past where they remove everything. I'm like, well, that was useless. No, we're giving the exact template so you know what words to change to make it your own. So you're going to go through that funnel. We're going to give that to you. Pay attention as you're going through that funnel template. Once you get the email, you're going to join the Facebook community. But something that we're doing, and I don't have a ton of these left. I probably have enough for this upgrade only for this last month. But I bought 250 of these books. These books are now for sale for $226 last I checked on Amazon. It's a book written by Russell Brunson, Justin Benton, and other Inner Circle members. I have a chapter in this book. And in this book, once this is sold out on Amazon, you can't get a copy unless if you join Russell's Inner Circle for $50,000. And even at that, why that would be worth it is because in this book, you have 24 chapters written from 24 different people that share their exact experience of what they did to launch their funnel and how they passed $1 million in revenue in that funnel and joined Russell's Inner Circle. It's their journey to getting inside the Inner Circle. And I know when Russell asked me to write a chapter, I spilled all the details. Like my chapter is probably one of the longest because I didn't want to let anyone down. Every detail's in there, exactly what I've done, how I've done it. And I'm going to ship you a free copy of this book as a bonus for going VIP. So it's $97 to upgrade to VIP. You're going to get an extra hour with me on Zoom every single day. You could pre-submit questions if you can't be on live, and some other assets I'd even mentioned. You're going to get our funnel template that we've refined over 34 times now. And you're going to get a copy of this book. I'm going to hand sign and write you a note and ship it out to you. And I'm pretty sure if you enroll today, we have plenty of these left over, but I know we'll sell out the last hard copies that I have this month. So this will probably be the last chance to get one of these books, unless if you want to go pay $200 on Amazon or join Russell's Inner Circle for 50 grand. All right. So that's everything you're getting. Again, this is our event starting Monday. My goal, if I've shown you a lot here, my true goal at the end of the day is to help you craft an offer that is more valuable than you know your own worth. I'm going to help you increase your worth, pre-sell your high ticket offer, and you're going to do it one-to-many without sales calls using a virtual event. I'm going to show you how to craft your virtual event, how to name it to attract the right people, the content you should be teaching in it, and how to fill up that event, and then how to create systems to make it repeatable. And that's my goal for those next 5 days starting Monday with you. And if you can't be there live, you could get the replays. We're going to give you 7 days access to the replays after the event. All right. If there's any questions on that, please let me know. Can't wait to see some of you guys in there. I know some of you here are veterans of our challenge. Come through it one last time. Again, we're doing some different things. If you're already in the group, you can watch it free in there. That's our challenge. Let me just show you guys the group real quick so you know what I'm talking about. I'll just show you guys a shortcut. Those of you who are already in our challenge conversions community means you bought a ticket at some point to our cold to client challenge, right? That means you could watch it free next week in the group. But if you want the assets and the new things we're doing on VIP, we're only doing that in the VIP sessions. Go here to this link and upgrade to VIP. All right. So it's pinned at the top of the group under this start here post. You just buy that one ticket. You don't have to buy a general ticket again. Just upgrade to VIP, and we'll make sure that you guys get everything you need there. All right. So today's the official last day. If you want to be a part of this, we hope to see you in there. I'm really excited about it. If you guys have any questions on that, let me know. Yeah, Haley, if you don't have a book yet, I'll bring one to the Mexico house build for you. It'll just save room in your luggage. Candy's already got a hard copy. Awesome. What's up, Matt? Good to see you. Jill's been a VIP of ours in the past. Cool. All right, everybody. Let's get into the good stuff here. Not that wasn't good. You guys are going to love that event. I pour everything into it. I love running that event. But I want to wrap up some things here from the mastermind. So Dan Henry had an interesting question. And I'm like, if Dan Henry's one of the most successful marketers that I consider, someone I've looked up to as a mentor, and now, peer, we're going to do some collaborations in the future. We got to hang out for like 4 days these last 2 weeks. And we talked about a lot of cool things we're going to probably link up and do together. But just to shift perception, right? Dan Henry, former pizza delivery, I did pizza delivery for 7 years, has now grown a 8-figure online company. He's recently pivoted and helping people with their sales teams. And he has a $60,000 offer. It's the only offer he has for that specific industry. And his question was, how do I brand out to a wider audience without sacrificing the results of coaches and consultants I work with? Right. So he's worried that those who are newer will be less likely to get results. So Grant gave him the advice to say, come up with $1 million offer, right? What I told all of you earlier, come up with $1 million offer without the goal of selling it. What it will do is make the $60,000 be more attractive and seem more affordable to invest in. Grant says, I go up the food chain. I would make a list of everyone that potentially how many millions of people qualify for your offer. These notes aren't going to be perfect, by the way. The transcription does get a little, misconstrued, but you should be able to kind of follow along. But Grant was telling Dan that he's going after coaches and consultants. And Dan is one of the smartest people, but he couldn't get his head around how to go wider. And Grant was like, do you know how many people out there are looking for new opportunity that are police officers, that are nurses, that are doing this and that, and they have expertise that they could go and launch a high ticket offer and learn what Dan is teaching to sell that offer through building sales teams. And, I know why Dan comes from this angle, but he's like, well, I don't want to help newbies, because newbies, I got to help them build the offer. I got to help them through the mindset. I got to help them through all this stuff. And Grant just really helped Dan see that it's a numbers game. You don't have to help people that aren't willing to do the work. Find the people that are willing to do the work, that are so upset with what they're doing in their lives that they're willing to invest 60 grand to do something new. And you'll find in here that Grant just talks about math, right? So I'm just going to skip all this. You guys could go through this, but at the end of the day, the takeaway is it's all about the target, doing the math, and working backwards from the goal. So if you look at Dan's goal, if he wants to 10X, he's at $5 million a year. He wants to get to $50 million a year. It's really about, Grant said, even at 2% conversion, you only need 40,000 people in your funnel. Do you believe that there's 40,000 people out there where 800 of those people will give you 60 grand? So there's some lingo in here, Grant, but it's fascinating to hear this conversation because it comes down to a math equation. And I think 2% is a low conversion. I think it's probably even higher than that. When you think about the world population or even the United States population, there's millions of people. You're telling me you can't get 40,000 people in your funnel to make $50 million a year? So to me, it was a really big takeaway. And something we started doing actually when we first found Grant was setting targets and not just saying this is our year goal, but no, we got to break this down to each quarter, each month, each week, each day. And, we're really working with our team right now to set the targets every week and have them send in a report at the end of the week to see how we're doing towards the target and why the targets matter. So there's some fascinating stuff in here to just show you guys how getting inside Grant's mind and how he thinks differently about the target. Brian Walsh, I'm gonna put Brian's name here. Brian Walsh from Real Success. This guy is one of the most successful in the world at running summits. He stays a little behind the scenes, but his question was about getting your team to raise standards. And Grant didn't take credit for that. He said, it wasn't me. It was it was Jared. He said, talk to Jared, and they both go on. There's kind of a couple conversations going on in here, but they're going to start talking about the story behind their culture. And when we get to the end of it here, the takeaway is put pressure on the team around targets. And I'll tell you one thing I noticed from all the workshops I've gone to learn about what their internals are. The truth is, it's about people. It's all about the people. And I'm talking internally and externally, right? Team and clients and audience. This is something I'm really taking seriously right now is when you have one employee, right? One part-timer, one 1099, your goal is to align with them. This is what Grant Cardone has done. It's what Cardone Ventures has done to go from 3 employees to over 260 employees, and how their goal is to get to 20,000 employees as they scale this company. And it's top down, right? So each week, every single leader on the team has to meet with their team leaders, and it's their one-on-ones. It's called personal, professional, financial goals. And the first one's a long meeting. The first time they do it, 60 days into hiring someone new, they have their first PPF meeting. They break down their personal, professional, financial goals. They put it into the document. And then every other week, they meet to go over and check in with that employee where they stand with their goals, their personal, professional, financial goals. And they talk about by how they can hit those goals faster by aligning to the company goals. And they show them opportunities that they can earn and achieve to hit their own goals. So basically they're saying, you don't want to win for my for my results and my company results. You want to win to hit your own results. So let's get clear on that. And let's show you how in your role, you can get dialed in to hit your goals for the company that will hit your personal, professional, financial goals for you personally. And they do this, which is fascinating. So people they really focus on the targets. And it's not because of the company targets, because of their own personal financial goals, personal, professional, financial goals that are tied to those targets. Really fascinating. So Grant, what I'm getting to here is Grant asks for metrics. And the more important the target is, and the closer they are to the target end, like let's say they have an event coming up, Grant wants, depending on the importance of it, he wants an update more and more and more. So for GrowthCon, he was getting an update every 15 minutes to tickets sold. You get a report on his desk every 15 minutes. And Grant, yeah, he wants to see the numbers, but that 15-minute isn't for him. It's for the person that's responsible for those targets to own their department and say, hey, I got to report back to Grant in 15 minutes, and I don't want to have the same number we had 15 minutes ago. So let's get to work. And it's really top down. So it says Grant doesn't ask for the target updates every hour or 15 minutes for him. He does it to put responsibility on the team leader because he knows he doesn't want to report zero change in the last 15 minutes. Right. And this is kind of the quote, is that the hourly number isn't for him. Yeah, it's for Jeremy. It's for him. It's for me. It's for whoever's responsible for producing that number, so that every hour I'm all over it. You're thinking, you were like, hey, what are we doing now? Oh, where's that number? Shit. The number did change. I got to send him a number with no improvement. Like I'm going to look like an asshole. Sorry for the cussing, but this is just Grant's words. So now it's like, it's for us to have attention on it. So I thought that was really fascinating that at the end of the day, culture is created by aligning your company goals to their personal, professional, financial goals. And they're meeting twice a month to go over them. And that's why they're all over the targets. Everyone wants to impress their team leader, and it goes right up the chain to the top, right? No one wants to be the person not producing. So that was my biggest takeaway about team and culture. And it's something we're doing now is aligning with our team and finding out what are their personal goals, what are their financial goals, what are their professional goals. And when we hit goals in our company, how do we advance, right? In the past, I would give, my team increases in their pay just because they've been a part of the team for 2 years, 3 years. And now it's like, that's not even rewarding for them. That's just like, people want to feel needed. They want to feel a part of something, want to be a part of the culture. And like, I don't want to raise unless if I hit these targets, right? They want to feel like they're empowered to do so. So if you don't have a team, start with one part-timer and get, make sure that they're fit first, and then find out what their goals are and tie them to your goals in your company and report on these actively. Let's see. There's some other stuff in here for you guys around team. Here's my question for Grant. We'll wrap up here. My question for Grant was, obviously Grant is where he is. It's totally unrelatable. Even some of you guys might think it's unrelatable where I am for your business. But here's the question I would ask someone like me then, or ask someone like Grant. I basically said, so you're over here, $6 billion worth, net worth, and got all these companies, 17 different companies. So the question, you and Jared go way back in starting everything. I feel like that's kind of where I'm at with just me and one other person who's recently found to be the person that could really help me. What advice would you give to someone who's at that level? So I'm basically asking, like, what did it look like when it was just him, Jared, and Sherry? Because for me right now, it's like, I got a great team, but really full time, it's me, Jeremy, Matt, and Kelsey, and then a few others, right? Leslie, Theo. But I'm really trying to get dialed into like, what would you be focused on with your team? So I found out some interesting things. Like, number one, I'm not going to read all of it to you guys, but they were in California. They relocated, changed their environment. Jared followed them out there. They weren't going to even bring everybody. It's just going to be him and Sherry. Jared flew out. They were staying in a hotel so they could find an office. But really at the end of all this, I'll share my takeaway was they started with one offer. Did you know that Grant, until they were making about $8 million a year, were only focused on Cardone University. And they were selling Cardone University to cold email and cold calling companies, selling Cardone U to these companies. And they were business to business. They weren't even direct to consumer at that point. And they just kept focused on that one offer. And they said they didn't run ads until 2019. So you got to think, almost 2 decades, they were just doing organic, cold calling, cold emailing, generating leads from Grant's content. So really at the end of the day, it's content. We need to go all in on content, get the attention, and then double down on what's working. And then we can start running paid traffic to the things that are working organically. And even me being consistent with this one stream every single week. And, throughout the week, I trickle out content in here and there. My main focus is stop being perfect. You don't need a perfectly edited YouTube video. You don't need these perfectly edited video shorts and perfectly written things. Like, find out what works for you. And last Tuesday, what really worked for me, as I was banging my head against the desk trying to film shorts and a YouTube video, I'm like, I'm just never gonna be able to do this. I was hard on myself. I sat down, I wrote one email. I said, I'm just gonna write one email. And I found I really love to write. I found my thing is writing down what my thoughts are. And I wrote that one email and I filmed a video right after. You guys, I did it in one take. One Loom video, one take. That's impossible for me. But because I wrote it out, got clear, and just spoke from the heart, didn't have to be a perfect hook, didn't have to be a perfect story, didn't have to be a perfect call to action. In my eyes, I nailed it. And I ended up writing 10 emails that Tuesday and filming 10 videos. And time flew. I was like, I can't believe how much time went by. Like, I feel like I just started this. So now I'm going to tell myself, anytime I feel resistance, I'm just going to sit down and write one thing. I was going to write one post. And I know when I get stuck in that flow, I'm going to keep going. So for me, the answer to anyone's problems here, it's content creation. If you don't know who to serve, content. If you don't know what kind of offer to put out there, content, right? Your content could be documenting the journey, and it's what everyone will tell you, right? When I first found Russell, he said, go live every day for a year, go film one podcast every day for a year, go write one email every day for a year. Because no one's willing to do that. And when you do that, you're going to find your voice. You're going to start attracting the right people through the stories. Like, one big takeaway right now is you don't need results. A lot of you guys here have amazing results, but if you don't need results to get started. You don't even need an audience to get started. There's only one thing you need, and everybody has it. And that's a story. Now, the question is, are you willing to share that story? Are you willing to go put that out there? And when I think about where I finally started being successful, right? 8 years of failing part-time online when I was working through sales jobs and restaurant jobs. The month I went all in and got focused on saying my story. And my story wasn't good. It was all my failures. I was negative in the bank, 6-figure student loan debt. I stated my goal and where I'm going. People went nuts. They've rallied for me, helped me hit my goals. But I was finally got the courage to say the story. And I started just documenting my story every single week, every single month, sometimes on a daily basis, sometimes not. I was pretty inconsistent back then, but at least weekly. And go out there, put out your story, because then you're going to start finding the right people showing up. They're going to be attracted to you because you're open enough to share where a lot of people aren't. And then you're going to start getting vulnerability there because you were vulnerable, and they're going to start sharing their problems with you. Pay attention to the problems, and then pay attention to the gap so you can help them solve that problem in a way that they want it solved. That's your offer. Your offer isn't a product. It isn't some kind of feature and benefit. It's listening and finding the offer that's going to fill that gap, fill that void. And you're not going to know what it is until you start sharing the story. So I would say, if you could do anything, get very uncomfortable, start sharing your story. It's going to happen quick. You start doing that, you're going to start growing an audience. You're going to see things start taking off. People are going to start sharing their problems with you. You're going to start getting the light bulb moment where I could solve that problem. And then that becomes your offer. Craft an event speaking about that problem, how you're going to solve it for people, and then go repeat that event. Enroll people into your offer. And the more offers you make, the more revenue you're going to generate online, the more you could go give back. We're at the point now where, like, I don't have a revenue goal. Like, I wanted to pay off my student loan debt, 100 grand. I wanted to go and hit the 2 Comma Club award, make $1 million online. And I'm like, oh no, I want to go make $10 million so I get that other fancy award. And I'm like, no, it's not it. It's about the new aim. And the new aim for us is, can I donate $1 million? And I want to build 100 homes in Mexico. We've done 4 so far. We're doing 2 more this month. So we're underway. It's a big goal. It's a scary goal, but I think it's much better to document that journey than it is to go and document a journey to make $10 million. Because if I could donate $1 million, I better be making at least $10 million in revenue, right? But it starts with the story, starts with the aim, and it starts with listening to the problems. And the problem I found is that a lot of people invest a lot of money hiring people to solve their problems. They're going to hire, Cole Gordon or Dan Henry to, place a sales team in your business, and you can't hire people to solve your problems. That's not how it's going to work. So if all these people in the industry, I love all those guys I just named, but the truth is, like, I look at Russell and I look at Dan Kennedy. These guys built 8, even 9-figure businesses before they hired a sales team, doing what I'm teaching now, opening up, sharing your story, creating an event to attract the people that your story attracts, solve their problem in that event, and invite them to your offer, one-to-many without sales calls. And I find that to be not easy, but it's way easier, way more simple than it is to hire and scale a sales team. So I want you to look at the things you've accomplished, even if it's not a financial win. Like, what are you doing right now? What's helping you get clear? Can you go help people solve that problem in a different way than the market's preaching? And then just keep refining it. We spent 18 months refining and listening to our clients in the academy and what was holding them back. We looked at what was getting them the results, and we eliminated everything that wasn't getting them the results. We made it, and it wasn't what could we add, it's what can we take away to get them results faster. So hope that's helpful for all of you guys. Couple last notes here is Shonda. I'm just going to put these in here really briefly. I'll probably elaborate on these a little bit more for you all, but Shonda, you guys, Shonda was live every single day at the mastermind. I'm like, where's Shonda again? She's live on her computer because she doesn't miss her commitments. Make more offers. You know, Shonda was doing a virtual event every month, a 3-day event, and a workshop. Every month she's running 3 big events, but she's also live every day between those events, selling tickets to those events. Unbelievable. And I said, how do you do that every day? She goes, I look at do you think 1 hour a day is a lot of time in your day? Right? No, it's not a lot of time. And she goes, what's the most important thing you could do to grow your business? Right? You need revenue to be in business, right? You're not a business about revenue. It's make sales. So she looks at 1 hour a day to be her revenue hour. And it is something she doesn't miss. It's, what would you call, what's that word where it's, I'm blanking right now, but it's something she doesn't miss, right? 1 hour a day, she's live making offers every single day of the month. That's inspiring to me. I look at her emails. I'm on her email list, minimum 5 emails a day. I'm not unsubscribing, right? Because I'm inspired by what she's doing. If you haven't made any money this month, go ask yourself, how many offers have you made? Right? More offers, more money, more revenue, more you could give back, more you could hire a team, more that you could scale, more that you could give to your clients. You guys, we're starting to print these awards for our clients in the academy. These are expensive. These are like $800 an award. I couldn't do that if I wasn't out here making offers and getting people to invest in the program that I reinvest into them and their success. So make more offers. Bill Allen, this guy's genius. I don't know how he does everything he does. If I had to give you something about Bill Allen, it's humble. He is so humble. But what's fascinating now is he has gone out to build $15,000 offer, a $50,000 offer, and he even has a $100,000 offer now. And he did all of that first. These are thousands, by the way. And now he goes front end to build a $47 per month subscription model. He could have done this a long time ago, but he perfected this. And what's fascinating about this is people in his $15,000 program that become a part of his $50K offer get to be coaches in this. And then when they become a $100K client, they get to coach these people. And he's in the real estate niche, by the way. So I thought it was fascinating. I'm like, well, how much do you pay your coaches? He goes, I don't need to pay them. They just want to be a part of it. They want to give back to the people that are the step behind them. So that's how he scales fulfillment. And now he's going wider by increasing, customer base. And not all of them are going to ascend to 15K, but the people that start making money with this offer will. The problem is most people start with the low monthly subscription model and they burn out and they never get anywhere. But if you go and do this, then you could hire a full team to run this subscription model for you and ascend them into your higher ticket offers. So start here, add the ascension model, add the next ascension model, then go do the front end stuff. People are so busy getting their free lead magnets and their low ticket subscription models and their low ticket offers, and they burn out because they never even get the revenue they need to pour back into their team and their clients to have the success. Brad Sumrock, what can I say about Brad? He's just been in this game for so long, decades. He runs an online real estate signet, he does basically what Grant does. Online education, real estate syndication. I think it's just longevity. I know that's not a great one. I'll put more thought into this. Longevity, just like being it for the long game. Right? We're so concerned what we're going to do today, this week, next month, that we kind of just don't stay focused on the longevity of this game. And I promise you, those who stick, like I've been in this 4 years, and people like, I don't know about you guys, but 4 years I'm in Grant Cardone's house. Like that should have taken me decades. But I think I've gotten there because the people that started when I did that didn't stay the path. It filters people out. And if you just stay long-term, consistency is key. I find that just being consistent. And for me, it's flown by, but I look at 4 years in the game as a baby. I'm still a baby in this. I'll be doing this as long as I can, that God allows me to do, until I'm old and can't even lift my fingers to type anymore, or get up and speak anymore. But longevity, just being it for the long haul. Dan Henry, a lot of good takeaways from Dan. Man, how to narrow this down is Dan gave me some advice that said it was gonna be hard for me to hear, but I didn't even flinch because I love hard advice. Like, tell me all the things. Dan told me to, believe it or not, ditch my slides. He said, you've been doing your challenge long enough now. Get rid of your slides, speak to the people, have a whiteboard. So it's almost like going back to the drawing board and like just keeping it simple. Like, you don't need slides. Drawing board, talk to people, shift their beliefs. One thing that he showed me about the challenge model specifically was pitch day one. Get the elephant out of the room on day one. So I thought that was fascinating. I'm just gonna say challenge your perception. So it's kind of contradictory, but like, what's working, and we get stuck and we double down what's working, but like, can we change a little bit? Can we challenge the perception of that? I've been presenting slides every week for 4 years. I've been doing challenges every month with slides. I wouldn't even think to challenge that perception. But it was fascinating to hear that. So I think it's just looking at certain things and challenging what's working, and tests. He tests a lot of things. Brian Walsh, get on stages, bring people together. All of you are capable, even if you consider yourself not an expert, you can congregate people in a room. He hosts virtual events. A lot of people don't know who Brian Walsh is, but he hosts the biggest virtual events in the world. They run multiple events every single month. You've probably seen some of his events. Some of the biggest names in the world, not just in our space, but like celebrities, are on his virtual events. And he just wants to be the matchmaker and bring people together. And he makes a lot of money selling tickets to his events and making commission off the back end of what they're selling. So it's kind of a fascinating thing. But it kind of shows me that you don't have to be extrovert. You don't have to be the face of a company to go become a millionaire. What he's done is incredible. Gloria just retired as a #1 Mary Kay worldwide leader. She's a leader in Mary Kay, right? If you guys know, it's a network marketing company. She's at the top worldwide. She just retired. And now she's kind of having one of those moments where, like, I've done all this. What's next for me? And Grant gave her some really cool advice about pivoting. And the biggest thing she can do right now is go out there and be a voice for women. She's just noticed that, over her years, that specifically the women that she's worked with don't believe that they can achieve what she has. And she says that it's controversial to speak about, revenue and income and things like that. And it's uncomfortable, I think she said it was, for her. But now she started doing this, and she's, repelling some people. It's polarizing, but she's building a movement for women to really know their worth, to go and be able to build successful companies and advance in their careers. I think it's really fascinating. So I think a takeaway from Gloria is, don't be scared to share your voice and polarize. Not even share your voice, but be the voice. Be the voice for others. Right? She might get some hate from people that are scared, or hate from other people that go against her beliefs, but she's going to make a pretty amazing movement in the next couple of decades. If you don't know her now, you'll know who she is. She's doing some amazing things. One of the nicest women I've ever met. And it's okay to pivot, but it was fascinating conversation to hear behind the scenes of. Spectacular. I don't know, man. He's a riot. He's just a leader. I think he also motivates people in this world that don't believe in themselves. So I think it's similar to Gloria, where he just really helps people around the money mindset of success. You know, if you don't know him, he really got famous for his work with Pretty Ricky. He's an artist performer, but he's also now helping athletes, performers, artists, and he leads some amazing events and retreats. And I think it's just kind of teaching people what they don't know, showing them what is possible, right? So more like being a leader to show people what's possible. That's my first thought there. And then lastly, Anthony Morrison. This guy has been live every Thursday on webinars for decades, hasn't missed it. He's told me some stories of things that he had to miss because of his live webinar. I'm like, dude, that's insane that you would miss something like that. Like, I'm talking wedding celebrations, and like he would be at a wedding and go and give his webinar. And he gave his life to live streaming everything he does. And now most of what you see Anthony in isn't live. It looks live, but it's recorded and presented live using a tool called, he built his own software, virtual, what was it called? Virtual Event Fuel, Webinar Fuel, and now Challenge Fuel. So he's helping even people like Russell Brunson and Grant Cardone evergreen their challenges with a tool. I'm going to be doing some work with Anthony to partner up on something to help my clients implement this tool in our academy, where yes, go run the event live. You have to get it down and test and optimize and get to the point where you can run the best version as it's live, but it's going to actually be recording. And he's just showed me how to really give the same experience that people didn't think they could do, right? You would say, I have to do it live because that's the only way to give this experience, but he's proving people wrong and built out a software that appears to get people the same experience with less effort and results, or less effort with the same results. He basically said, like, my live, you know, the way he's doing things now has 80%. So it declined by 20% conversion. So it's like 80% as good as the live version. But if I'm running a challenge every month, once a month, would 100% be, you know, of that event once a month be better than 80% times 4 times a month, right? That's going to be like almost 3.5 times return. And I don't have to be there live for it. But you guys know me, I love being live. So I'm still going to do a live event each month. I'm probably just going to change up the event and what we're doing. But now that I've done the Cold to Client challenge 8 times, our 9th time will be next Monday. If you guys choose to come be a part of this, it's going to be the final version. You get to be a part of the final version that I'm going to run live for the foreseeable future every single week, probably for years to come. If you guys look at Russell Brunson, I don't know if you guys know this, but I think I got put on the map because I was highlighted on day 30 of Russell Brunson's One Funnel Away challenge. For years, they ran that replay where people got to see my interview on day 30, or the question I got to ask Russell and Steve Larson. And me being a part of that evergreen model grew my audience pretty fast in the beginning, and then kept getting me leads for years to come. So that could be you. If you become a part of our Cold to Client challenge and you're a part of this, and I evergreen this and decide to run that on a weekly basis, and you're dropping value in there, you could be seen by other people that we drive traffic to this challenge in the future. So that's my my last bit of the notes here. So for Anthony, I'll summarize it and just say, kind of like the same thing, challenge your perception of what's been working. Like, think outside the box that you can automate an experience that seems live and be much less work for you in the long run. All right. So now if you guys haven't got this, this sheet yet with all the notes, there's a lot more if you want to go read through it that I kind of skipped around, but I'll give you guys the juice of it. I'll drop that here in the chat for you guys, so you guys have a copy of this sheet. All right, save that. Any questions? We'll go to Q&A. It doesn't have to be about today's content. I'd love to help a few of you guys for the last 15 minutes here. if you guys have any questions on this, and I'll send you guys the replay to this so you don't have to record it. Theo had a question. If you want to come on up, Theo, feel free to ask. I have to unmute you. Thanks, you guys, for sticking around. I think we've been here for about an hour and 45 minutes. So thanks for your commitment. Hopefully I made it worth your while. Next week, I'll go a bit more into Dan Kennedy and the Russell experience. I just think it would have been a lot to cover all of it here today. But I'll keep doing cool stuff and bring it back to you guys as long as you're willing to show up and be here. I'm happy to answer any of your questions.
Hey, good evening, good day. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So basically, my question is, because of you're talking about putting yourself out there, and you've talked about putting a lot more content there. But the issue I'm having now, because I recently moved and things are not fully set up in my new environment. So there tends to be some background noise and things are not exactly perfect. I was trying to push myself and still put out content despite everything not being perfect because I want to put out more things. But then someone reached out to me and said, based on the perception they have of me, the impression before everything got to this point, that I shouldn't be having this kind of quality. Now, that hit me and I felt reluctant to put anything out today. So I'm trying to struggle with, okay, should I step back and until things are fixed and before putting out more content, or I can just put things out that is imperfect. And I know you talk about imperfect action. I'm just struggling with that piece in my head because that thing really hit me. Because I know that I had the perception before everything happened with me, putting out content and someone is calling me, yo, your content is, I'm getting something that's not good. So how do I actually handle that?
I think first off, never take the opinion of one person. That's just my 2 cents. Like if you keep hearing the same thing over and over again, okay, maybe there's some validation there, but I would never go off of what one person thinks. Everyone's different, first of all. I don't know. I took the advice of one person that came at me heavily in the beginning of my full-time online career. And I found out later that he was truly a mental case. He had a lot of things going on and he publicly bashed me. So I hid in a Facebook group for three and a half years. So like I let one person hinder me for 3.5 years. That's pathetic. Like I look at myself like, dude, I should have went harder. I should have went louder, because the truth comes out over time that guy started bashing not only me, but hundreds of entrepreneurs. He was just basically, that was his thing. He was just going to bash people because he didn't feel happy about himself. And the louder you are, you're going to get some hate. You're going to see people say that they don't like what you're doing. And, if I look at the thousands of people I've been able to help from that one person that didn't like me, now say, if I go get 1,000 haters, that means I've helped 1 million people. So like, look at it like that. I think it's really just up to you, especially in the beginning. Like you're doing great content, like go keep putting out the content and let the audience vote with their wallets. Even like I put out content, it's not going viral, but I'm getting sales from it. So I wouldn't take anyone's advice, honestly. Most people that give you advice have never made $1 online. They're in fact, they're mad or jealous that you're the ones putting it out there and they're not. And it's like this deep-rooted envy. Grant told me, and I hope you guys prove me wrong today. Grant told me that your best customers come from your viewers. They're not your followers. They're not the people showing up to your live streams. They're not the people like engaging on your content. And when I think about this, his point is that the people that actually buy his offers don't follow him online. They don't show up to his free stuff. They don't take advantage of his offers that he's putting out there. It's the people are just viewing. So that would tell me anyone here, right? People that see this later are a better customer for me. I find that hard to believe because I would hope to think that all of you here are here because you don't want to just view something. You want to go implement something, right? So if you are here and you're just viewing and you're finding yourself showing up to these Thursday trainings and you haven't invested $47 for a ticket to our challenge, that might be your next step. Help me prove Grant wrong. But really, it's not about, if you spent 2 hours here with me today, it's not that you don't have the time. You have the time to come to our event next week. And I promise you, if you're interested in even slightly of what I do, and what I do is shorten your sales cycles so you don't have to be on sales calls all day, right? Imagine just doing one event a month and filling your program more in one day than you would in 30 days of sales calls. You could do it with much less effort. And then you could put in systems to repeat that and maybe even evergreen that and run that event over and over again. That's what we're doing here. And we could do that in 5 days next week. If you don't have an offer, we're going to help you get solid on your offer. You don't have to have it created. We're going to help you use this signature event that you build for yourself to launch that offer. And you can make more in a day than you can in months or maybe even the past year of revenue that you've done. And we've done this over and over for clients. If you don't have time, you do have time because you're here right now. You could all dedicate an hour a day to watching. And whatever else is holding you back is just an excuse. It's just keeping you comfortable. It's probably keeping you from the result you want. Some people are just scared of success. What happens now that I do an event? Oh God, I have clients. What do I actually do with these clients? Well, the only way to find out is by going to get a client. Go get a client, deliver, just care and do your best. They're not going to be upset. They're going to feel honored to be a part of it. The founding members of your program or the people that came along for the ride to make it a better program. People love saying, I've been there from the beginning, right? So that's my invitation to you guys. Today will be the last day to come join us in that event. I don't mean to change the subject, but I was just fascinated by that. And something that Theo said made me think of that. So I'd love to know in the chat real quick, who is coming to our Cold to Client event starting Monday? Just put a 1 in the chat if you're already signed up. 1 in the chat if you're already there. 2 in the chat if you're a VIP. 2 in the chat if you're a VIP. Let's go. David, Albert, Janet. Good stuff. The sessions for the Cold to Client Challenge are 2 p.m. Eastern time. They're 1 hour, and then we break the live stream, and then we do an hour live session. So it'll be 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time. But if you can't be on the live sessions, you can send in your VIPs. By the way, we give you a questionnaire, and I answer all your questions, even if you can't be on the live stream. So I'll reach out and tell you where I answered your questions. You could drop questions on the live Q&A questions thread, and we'll answer those for you. And then you get to watch the replays. But I would at least try to make it live if you can, even for a few minutes, especially the live VIP sessions. And if you have to jump, I'll answer your questions in the beginning. Yeah, Candy, I would. I'll go into that question next. I want to make sure Theo felt heard though. So Theo, your biggest question was worried about content, what people are thinking based on one person, one jerk off, no offense. Don't sweat that. And I need that reminder too. Like I look at the comments sometimes, I'm like, man, that person's a jerk. Well, sometimes it's their way of saying that they're your biggest fan. And it's the only way they know how to say it. That's the truth. Listen to some of the things Grant has to say about haters. It's fascinating. And it's changed my whole perception on it. Just keep doing it. Keep putting it out there. Again, let them vote with the numbers that matter, which are them investing in you. Don't worry about views. Don't worry about comments. Don't worry about engagement. So a lot of people get caught up on these metrics. I see all these ads like, oh, I got 1 million followers. What's your revenue? What's your profit? Right? Let them vote with really where it matters. Just keep putting it out there. You'll know in your heart what's easy to, what's landing for you. But I started doing those shorts, by the way, hook, story, offer, call to action. It felt really just not me. And that's why I was so resistant to it. Now I'm like, I'm just speaking from the heart, and I don't care if you don't watch it. And if I can't hook you in on the first 3 seconds and you don't want to watch me, don't, speak from the heart in your content, and the people that like it will keep showing up. They'll start sharing it. So that's my 2 cents on that, Theo. Hope that's helpful. Albert had a question. Let me see if I could track it down. It was a little bit higher up. But Albert, if you're here and you want to come up, I think it was about contests. You guys, I'm going to talk about contests for a minute. Like, keep it simple. If you guys are in my challenge, you're going to watch me run a contest that, yeah, we have systems in place that are very simplified now. Theo, by the way, runs our contest. And Jeremy just spent like a day last week building a new tracking system for Theo, where he just checks off each person's name for their daily action steps and it automatically calculates the points. And then Leslie gets that graphic, and Leslie's here. Leslie will put in the the leaderboard. He'll put up my slides. I don't do any of that stuff. But if it's just you right now, keep it simple. Like, you're going to see me put out people on teams. You're going to see me doing daily leaderboards, prizes. Here's how I ran my first contest. I had like, I don't know, 25 people in my challenge. And I said, every day you show up, I'm going to give you points. Every action step you complete, like, I'm going to give you a daily action step. I'm going to give you a point for doing that action step. At the end of the week, those of you who did all the steps and you stayed here and you finished my event, I'm going to write down your name on a hat, piece of paper. I'm going to put it in my hat. I need a haircut. Look at this mop right now. So I'm going to put your name in a hat. I'm going to pull out a winner. That winner is going to win the scholarship of the thing I'm selling at the end of the week. And that's what I did for like 14 times. I didn't have a leaderboard. I didn't do all the things. I literally just said, at the end of the week, those who do the work, I'm going to put your name in a hat. I'm going to pull your name out of the hat. I'm going to give you a scholarship to the program I'm selling. And then eventually I realized that, like, it was really fun and working. And we tried different things out. And one of the things we did was put people on teams of 10. And then by accident, once we did teams of 5, we found out that more people are willing to do the work when they're on teams of 5. When we did teams of 10, you have 3 or 4 people not do the work. And then when we did teams of 5, almost every time everyone does the work. You might have one straggler here and there, but I'll tell you, that person feels like a real dick, because when it happens, people reach out to me in the week. They're like, dude, I'm sorry. I feel like such a jerk. I didn't, my team let my team down, but by the way, I'm still buying your offer because I want to be a part of what you're doing. I'm like, so not to make anyone feel bad, but it really gets people committed. And I didn't start there. What you guys are seeing this Monday is 34 times of evolving gamification. So contest, simple. What are you selling at the end of the week? Are you comfortable giving out one free position of the thing you're selling? And then just put people's names in a hat and pull out a name at the end of the week and say, hey, here's the winner. That's all you got to do. Version 1. Add, remove things that you want or don't want. I started finding out, like, people will do almost anything you ask for them, keep it ethical, but we'll get people to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll get people to give us reviews on Trustpilot. We'll get people to give us a video testimonial. We'll get people to fill out a questionnaire. We'll get people to, share our name on social media, our groups on social media, all in the name of gamification to win a stupid contest. But at the end of the day, I always remind them, like, it's the points that don't matter. It's the results we want to see. So don't get caught up on the gamification. Stay focused on why we're here, meet people, get the work done, honor yourself and your commitment so that you could go put out something and feel good about putting it out there because you stuck to it when you did it. Right? I think a lot of people try to model my challenge and they don't invest in my challenge. And it's like, you don't feel good about selling your challenge. You come back and like, I didn't sell any tickets. I'm like, well, do you think you would have trusted yourself more if you went through my challenge and you stayed to the end? So you know what it's like? Just naturally, you're going to start attracting people who are willing to show up to an event and stick it out for 5 days. And the reason I don't go to 3 days is because I want 5 days. It's not really to sell anybody. It's my challenge. You're going to get results in my challenge, whether you work with me or not beyond the 5 days, but it shows me who I really want to work with. Like, I look at Candy. Candy's showed up real hard in our last challenge. And when it came the opportunity to work together, I knew it was a yes on my end, and she knew it was a yes on her end. And then there's people that went through the same cohort as Candy that wanted my program. And I said, dude, you didn't even show up to day 1. You didn't even do one action step. What kind of client are you going to be in my program? How are you going to contribute to the value of my mastermind? I don't want the money you're going to invest. I want you to go out and get results. And the way that you show up to my challenges proves to me that you're not going to be the best client to bring the best value to our community. And even if you have 0 clients, you should act like that, because you're going to get amazing results for the clients that do stick out with you and do the work. And it's going to keep your energy high. So that's just kind of, I don't know where we got off on a tangent here, but contests, right? It's really just a way to get more completions, more results for your clients, and see how they show up. It's a filter. It's a filter for your business. I would love to show you guys I would love to show you the model, the 5 days and how it works. And no matter what you're doing, how it can be beneficial for you over webinars, over DMing and getting on sales calls, over all the things people teach. And there is an easier way, which I'll show you guys how to take that thing that's converting at a high level. We convert 25 to 30% to high ticket without sales calls. We help our clients do the same. Some of my clients even do better than we do. And then now it's going to be next version. I'm going to show you guys my challenge next week, how you could actually take that model and run it evergreen on repeat more often, more frequently, and still have involvement, still have that connection without your 24 hours a day presence, which we found a way to do. Perfecto. All right, cool. Hector, I know you've been patient. I could rant. We're going to take Hector. If there's Terry, I saw you had a question. If anyone else has a question, I'm going to bring you guys up, but let's get Hector unmuted. Hector Diaz, how you doing?
Doing great, Doug. I think we might have met at Steve Larson's event years ago.
Wow, Offermind?
Offermind, yeah. And were you there?
I was there.
Okay, but I think I met you because so many people spoke very highly of what you've been doing. And so I was in just a bunch of lunches and meetups and stuff like that. And so your name was dropped many times for me to meet you. And this is like my first time on one of your Zooms. So thanks for doing this. And
welcome.
Thanks for answering my question. The question I have for you is kind of a weird one because I've been teaching digital marketing to real estate agents at a really high level for most of my career for over a decade. I work for 2 Fortune 500 companies. All that to tell you that I'm kind of well, I guess the question I have for you directly and for everybody's benefit is, if you were starting out, kind of like what you alluded to earlier, if you were starting out and maybe wanted to change the people that you were serving, like change channels, for example, what would you do?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I really had no off. Actually, when I found Steven Larson, who ran that event, Offermind, I didn't have an audience. I didn't really know who I was meant to help until he asked me a couple questions, and I'll show you how I eventually later pivoted. But I think the questions that really spoke to me, like most of you probably here, you've got so many ideas, and I did too. I had spent 8 years working part-time at the online thing in the sunrise shift. I get home from my double in the restaurant, and I'd go to work, and I just found everything and anything I could sell to make money, pay off my loan. I was on wrong aim. I just wanted money to pay off my student loan. But then he helped me start looking at people. Who could I help? And when I was helping restaurant owners, I was helping people get out of fix their credit, get out of debt. I was helping ClickFunnels affiliates. I was doing so many things. This was back in October 2018 when I got asked these questions. He asked me, like, out of all the things you're doing, what could you talk about every day? And like, what are you really passionate about? And then out of those things that you really are passionate about, could talk about all day long, who's going to help the most? Like, who needs your help the most? Like, who's the story, the story you live? Who has that same story that you could really impact by talking about the things you now know and have overcome and accomplished? And out of those people that you can help, who has the resources to invest? Because I was going to help people get out of debt and fix their credit. And, I hate to say it, but I'm a rarity to come out of something like that. I think there's people that just don't have it and they don't believe they have it. So I started looking at all those questions. I'm like, well, marketers are already investing to solve problems. They really want to find a way to monetize online, and specifically in the ClickFunnels world. I got really good at promoting ClickFunnels. So I'm like, I'm going to help. I went really niche. I'm like, I'm going to help ClickFunnels affiliates who want to go out there and build communities, do it through the way I learned, which was exactly that: building out a valuable asset and giving away free to the community members, and then building the invitation to the paid version of it. So I really started helping the passive version of myself, that person that was lost, that was tried everything, that was stuck. And I just started speaking to the exact feelings that I was feeling back before I solved that problem. And that started attracting the right people. And for me, it was really new people. And then as I became, I rolled out a high ticket coaching program years later. Speaking to that same person, it's a big ask, $15,000 to work with work in a coaching program. So I started thinking more about how can I pivot? Like, who has the resources to invest? And we still help brand new people. We have something we're rolling out soon, actually. We've just been giving out some free stuff for about a year now. But I had to pivot because I started thinking about the problem I could solve is helping people that have an offer sell it one to many and do it without a sales team. And the truth is, the perfect candidate for that offer that I help in our academy has an offer. They're doing some kind of live training. They have clients already, or at least they have an idea of how they're going to get clients. And if you don't have an offer, you don't have an audience, you can go do a virtual event, but it's not the best first step for so many people. And it was a big decision for me to kind of leave behind the identity of like why I got started was helping the newbie entrepreneurs. And it was hard on me to make that pivot. But what happened was we started attracting people that have an offer, that have somewhat of an audience, and they have an idea of how they're going to deliver for their clients. And instead of people just investing in a program, almost everybody who joined our academy was throwing an event within 30 days, and most of them making at least their investment back on the first one. But a lot of them went on to 10x their investment, make $100,000 on their first event. And I'm like, this feels really good for me because people are actually committing and they're getting a return on their investment in the first 30 days. And then by the end of working with me, they've gone on to, some of them literally 100x their investment. Like, that feels good for me, because contrary to that is I go sell newbies and they pay $1,000 and sometimes the last of what they had, and they don't do anything because they're too scared. They can't get out of their own way. There's so much resistance. They're scared, not even failure, but they're scared of their own success. And that's a hard thing to shift people through. And then I feel like a bad coach because I enrolled 1,000 people into that $1,000 program, and maybe 50 of them got results. That's telling me I'm a bad person. I know that's not true, but I got to really get comfortable with people not getting results. And I just can't be comfortable with that. So I pivoted to people that were willing to invest high ticket. And because of that investment, they transform in that moment who they need to become to go and get the results. And people that even $1,000 is their last $1,000, anyone could go find $1,000 somewhere. That's just the truth. And they do. And then they just don't show up because it wasn't enough to get them to commit. So, to bring it back around, I think when you're thinking to pivot, and I need more details, Hector, what you're looking to do. When I went to go pivot, it was really an emotional decision for me. It was breaking my old identity to go help this new version of myself. I basically had to kill off the old version of myself who was broke and not getting results, and graduate myself to helping people that were a graduated version of my past self, if that makes any sense. So it was a big decision. And now, because there's still a lot of new people, 9 out of 10 people that find my group online, people that find these replays, people that find any of my content, and probably more than 9 out of 10 aren't a fit for our academy. They're just trying to find that first sale online. So we will be rolling out, and you guys will see this if you're part of our challenge. We're going to be bringing out a brand new offer. So we'll be focused on enrolling people for our academy, of course, during our event. First promise of my event, by the way, is you get results in that event. It's not just to sell you a program at the end of it. I promise you will leave results. You get clarity of something. Second thing we're trying to do is get people to join our Full-Time Freedom Academy, those who are ready. Where most people aren't ready for that step, we've missed the mark in the past, and we kind of just let people go and, try to figure it out on their own. Now we do have something we're going to be rolling out next week. It's very affordable for people to get started and still get one-on-one time in a group setting with me once a month, and actual resources to get that first step. It's not, so I'm excited about that. So I repivoted, Hector. Now we're going after who I left behind. I wanted to go help people so I could help myself and help my team and get that stable. And now I could go give more of myself to the people who really need it. So Hector, I'd love to know, what kind of pivot are you looking to make? And what's the challenge coming up in that? Oh, I got to unmute. Yeah.
Thanks. I do consulting for other businesses besides real estate. Now that I left about 3 years ago, leaving the corporate world, and then I went out on my own. My first 2 years were amazing. My last year was really terrible though. Just from a income standpoint, even though I've had amazing clients and people I'm still working with, but just so that being said, I'm helping like a very niche market right now that has very like it's B2B and it's manufacturing, so it's a completely different, but it's a big organization. So it's like there's a earning potentials there. My wheelhouse though is like kind of what you do. Like I've been teaching in public speaking, and I'm going to be doing some public speaking and training again for real estate professionals next month, or at least to the next 2 months probably. And so that's kind of my wheelhouse. But these other projects are a lot of fun because it gets me out of my own like kind of what you were saying, if I remember what you said correctly about like kind of, I don't know, just kind of the feelings that you're talking about that I was kind of in about serving the same clientele, maybe not getting the results that I wanted to, like I did the first 2 years. But this last year, when I've made these attempts and trying to attract the right people, it's been, I don't know if real estate agents are a dying industry. I don't think they are, but I'm just saying like, just in this conversation with you about that. So that's kind of been my vibe. It's like, it just hasn't been the same like the first 2 years compared to this past year. So I've been taking on other projects to keep me busy and to have fun, because I'm having fun with that new niche, because it's like using all this stuff that we've learned on digital marketing to do it in a new kind of a new channel, kind of like what you did.
Yeah. And those are the manufacturing companies.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Like LED lighting manufacturing. So it's super niche.
That's interesting. And now I assume that's one-on-one though, right? That's a lot of your time, or do you have a team that helps?
So like I'm doing some deployment for their marketing team and sales team and doing a lot of research and but it's fun, and I've been doing it, and it's a family that I'm connected to for a long time. So.
And what is it that you want? Do you want to do that, or is there something more passion that you would find to help somebody
I love
else?
doing these real estate events, and what you're doing, I'm going to sign up for it and learn more about what you're doing now.
Yeah.
And especially the automated stuff is like a long-term vision I would love to do. And but in general, doing this thing is more of a passion project, just kind of just want to deploy, because they do have a gap there based on the outreach. They have traditional salespeople like doing the calls and the emails, but like I want to deploy some like AI stuff, which is super fun right now for me. And but that being said, that's my own personal thing. Having these things automated and doing events are a lot of fun too.
I mean, I think there's twofold here. Number one is like that company you've already have established, and like I think about our done for you service, it's $50,000, and I just attend a few meetings, but it's really Leslie and Jeremy that I've hired and trained and, showed them. I mean, they've built our challenge out so many times. They're just literally doing that for other clients now. So I have like little involvement in it. So you could potentially get that to the point where you're consulting, but you have a team fulfilling on it, and allowing you to go do the things that you want to explore a little bit more in depth.
Got it.
And it's definitely fascinating. I mean, from maybe even a point where you can negotiate, like you look at like a lot of like Alex Hormozy and Brendan and Kaylin Poulin. Now they're running these companies where they take equity in the businesses that they consult for. So it's fascinating, and that could be an outlet. But I think helping people communicate and speak, like I just think, what do I really do? I teach the 5-day event, like the 5-day challenge model, but truthfully, what I'm really teaching is communication and leadership, which amount to enrollments, right? So I think that conversions is connections, and selling is communicating correctly, and it's speaking. And I'm a student first and foremost. I look at how other people are running their events, what they're saying, how they're saying it. And I feel like I'm just, as much as people see me as like an expert in the one-to-many selling model, I still feel like I'm still so new to it. I'm reading every book on it, which there's not a lot of books on the topic. And there's not a ton of people teaching how to speak from stage, virtually or in person, especially when you get niched down into something like real estate. And helping them see the value in their communication. Open house, right? Open house is a way to sell one to many.
Yep.
And it's fascinating. And I think that you could help people work so much smarter. I mean, I just recently moved, and they gave us one date that we had to be at the open house, and that was all. We had to really go out of our way to go get that, because they're in demand. Like, this spot I wanted, we had 18 people fighting for it. And I'm like, I really want it. I'll make that date work.
Are you in Idaho?
Yeah. What's that?
Are you in Boise or something? I think you're in Boise or something.
I'm in San Diego right now.
San Diego. Oh, okay.
Yeah. San Diego market. Things go quick. But I think that could be the outlet for direct to consumer. And I think people might think, well, there's already a lot of people teaching this to real estate agents, but there's no Hector Diaz teaching this to real estate agents. And there's agents that won't resonate with anybody else but you. So I think it's fascinating. I'm not sure if you're going to come through this event to get ideas for the other side of the business, but I would definitely, I think you could have more reach and more influence and more impact through the direct to consumer model.
Got it. Yeah. I appreciate your about that.
Yeah. And I think we all just, I think as humans want to feel needed, and like as we're contributing in service. I think service really for me was the saving grace. When I look at people that have big results and they're not giving back, like they don't even feel accomplished. So I think it's fascinating to what we can all build here, can build a platform to go and serve and give back, which I know if you guys are still here 3 hours in, you're that type of person. So awesome. Well, thanks for the great question, Hector. I hope I got you some clarity on that. I think just sometimes talking, bouncing ideas around, get you to see what's like right in front of you.
Yeah, I appreciate it for sure. Thank you so much, Doug.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on too, by the way. Cool to see you here. All right, let's see, Candy. Do we tell people that they'd be getting in on the ground floor? It's okay. Yeah. So, for example, when I made my first offer, one to many, it was $1,000 program. It was a 6-week program. And I told everybody that who came through it, that this will be the first rendition. I opened up for $800, $797. You know, the weird numbers, huh? Or $800, I'll round up. So I said, you're going to be able to come in this at $800. We're going to be going up to $1,500 next time I open up this program. And I only have 10 spots because I want to make sure we're committed to everyone that comes through this. I want 10 out of 10 perfect results, or like, to deliver on the result we're telling you're going to get. That way I can go and take this to the market to fill my next event where I promote this. We're going to increase the price. And by the way, you're going to be a founding member. And as a founding member, you're going to get 50% commission for anyone else that you bring to my future events. And you get 50% commission for anyone who takes me up on the offer that I invite people into. And only founding members will get that. So I think it's letting them know that they're going to be a part of it. They're going to get to design the curriculum. They're going to get to dictate and influence that. And a lot of people go and build courses. Like, I've had people join my challenge. Like, I can't do a challenge until my course is ready. I'm like, no, outline what you think your course is going to be about, or what your coaching program is going to be about, or your offer is going to be about. And then open it up and show them what you're going to be doing together. And I promise you, based on their feedback and questions, it's going to pivot. And all that work you would have spent filming all that time to make it perfect, that you probably would never even launched it, would have been for nothing. And I had a hard time wrapping my head around that in the beginning. Like, when my first mentor told me to launch, he's like, just put out this post and open up 10 spots. And how 500 people raised their hand for it was out of this world. I couldn't even believe it. But it really, if I had sat there filming the course I wanted to film, I probably would never have launched it. I would have been still struggling. So I just outlined, here's the 6 weeks, here's what they look like. And then they end up pivoting based on what the people actually wanted. And they get to have the say and the influence and to be a part of it from the ground floor. I think ground floor might be a term thrown around a little bit too much, but like founding member, beta member, like, use the terminology your audience will understand. But people want to be a part of something, especially the first version of. Yep, absolutely. Service, not selling. Cool. Did I just see a hand? Was it Albert again? Did you have another question, or did I answer your first question, Albert? You could unmute yourself.
Hey, Doug, how you doing, sir?
Hey, good. Good to see you here.
Yeah, you as well. So I am sorry, I'm a little bit of a mess here, long day. But anyway, so I sell so I'm in somebody else's program and I sell their low ticket, reoccurring, high ticket as well. And it's going good. Um, all my all my sales have been organic outreach through Facebook Messenger to a Zoom and then from a Zoom just close them. Which it's a long, tedious road, but I've only been doing it since January. I'm about at 25,000, which is only part-time. I run a handyman service. I'm here at Hilton Head Island, so a lot of short-term rentals, a lot of, people destroying crap for me to fix, of course. But long story short, is it very difficult being new to come up with the content for the challenge, two, to get people to the challenge organically? Does that make sense, that question?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think people get caught up in the numbers, especially people that come from like the big challenge gurus world, which some people have called me a challenge guru. I think it's hilarious because I'm definitely not. You guys, like my challenges are pretty intimate. I do paid. A lot of these guys that do free challenges, there's thousands of people and they learn how to do the challenge from these people that are doing thousands of people, and they get left behind because they're trying to do things that these big dudes are doing, big gurus or whatever you want to call them. And it's just a different model. And the fact where I teach quite opposite, I'm like, you don't need a lot of people in your challenge. You don't need to teach a ton of content in your challenge. I think that it's starting with a base and then just looking at like what worked and then doing more of that and getting rid of stuff and getting feedback. So the biggest mistake I find people doing is, number one, they pick a date and they don't launch. The second biggest mistake is people that do a challenge, they don't repeat it. And I'll show everyone next week, like what to look at when your challenge is over to determine what to get rid of. First off, don't ask what you could add, get rid of some stuff. And then you could make the changes to the things that worked and double down on it. And over 33 times now of running a challenge, the hardest thing for me is to reduce the content, because I like to teach and I like to get up there and showcase. But when I look at the slides that aren't getting a result, I remove them. So you don't have to, I think Russell says it the best. I don't know where he probably heard it from somebody else, but those who teach those who teach the most sell the least. So the fact is, like, less content, the better. If anything, what you really want to do, I'll show you guys this framework on day 3 next week. It's like day 1, you need to really get them sold on the vehicle, right? So day 1 of my challenge, you're going to believe that the challenge model is the best way. And I show you, not that's opinion, but it's fact from the industry, that a challenge model is the best model to enroll clients. And then day 2, I need to get you to believe that you can do it. So Albert, like day 2, we're going to show you how you don't need a ton of content, how you don't need a ton of people in your event, all the limiting beliefs that we have to take just imperfect action to put it out there. Day 3 is really all about the process. So now we're going to go high level and show them the process that solves the problem that they're struggling with.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And then day 4 is like
my
thing. Day 5, flat pitch.
Because here's my other thing. Like I have a group and I run, pretty cheap Facebook ads to my group to help grow my group. So they're all very cold. But I have not found a way to monetize that or get much engagement off that. It's starting to a little bit. I started doing Q&As on Sunday nights. I tried doing a challenge not a challenge, I guess really like a contest, just to get people that I already sold to start posting their results, hoping that would help with engagement. And then whoever made the most money in the last 15 days, got 100 free solo ads, pick the top 3 people, so on and so forth. And even giving away something for free like that, it was like pulling teeth to get people to post. Why is that?
Yeah. Here's a couple of things I've done in the beginning, especially, but I've actually carried this out. And I don't know if Hector's still here, but this is why I think people were really talking about me a lot in the beginning about what I was doing. Because I was doing different things. I was doing things that people weren't willing to do. And it sounds like you're already doing that. But a few different pivots you could make is like, my group has 8,000 people in it. It's dead. I'm just going to tell you, like, it's only active when I post in it, but I don't care about that, because what I care about is people moving forward. My goal isn't for my group to stay in the part of that community. My goal is to get them to an event and start to take action to get results. So here's what we started doing. You're already driving the traffic. You're probably got an email automation set up to when people join your group. What I do is I keep the email short. First off, I know this. When people start joining my group, they're joining tons of groups. They're joining tons of things. They're joining tons of email lists. I need to stand out. I need to get them to, number one, remember, like, even if they join your group and they're on your email 5 minutes later, they're like, who's Albert? Who's this group? What's this group about? Like, they don't even remember doing it. So you need a subject line to get them to open a very short email saying exactly what's in it for them. And I don't know if this is working yet, because what I'm testing now is getting them to a Loom video. That Loom video is like, hey, it's Doug. Here's my group. You just joined it. Here's why you probably joined it. And now I remember me. So like, what can I say to get them to remember Doug Boughton and my Facebook group name and the asset I'm going to give them for free, which is our 6-figure challenge toolkit. So now when they see my emails in the future, they've got a name, they've got a face, they've got everything they need to tie it. Because what I've done this, I subscribed to email lists. 2 days later, I'm subscribing because I can't remember who the heck they are at the time. In the moment,
it's true,
right? So I would focus on that. And what we're doing is those first 7 emails from when they join my group, it's selling them on the value of opting into our free course, our challenge toolkit. I want you to get into our challenge toolkit. And then when you opt into that toolkit, now you're going to get a series of emails saying you have 3 days to go through this. And if you don't finish it, we're going to revoke your access. So because it's free, people who, if they pay attention. If they don't, they won't. So I know if it's free, they're not going to pay attention. Right. So I get them to pay attention by saying, you only have 3 days to go through this. I sell them on the value of what they're going to learn here. And then if you don't finish it, it's only 2 hours. You have 3 days to finish it. If you don't, I'm going to remove your access. So I kind of like take that away from them. So it's urgency, it's scarcity, it's giving value. And then from there, they get a series of emails inviting them to my workshop. On top of that, I've got a community manager that's going to add them as a friend, engage on their content, reach out to them in the DMs, and provide that asset there too. We're not selling anything. We're just giving them value. So not only do we have it automated, but we have some delegation in place. So between all of that, they're going to know who I am. They're not going to be able to forget me because I'm constantly going to be following up. We are persistent as heck, especially when we find someone we know we can help. Until they're like, leave me alone, I'm not going to stop reaching out. I'm going to keep engaging, and I'm not going to be selfish and just ask for you to engage on my stuff. I'm going to engage on your stuff.
I'm the same way. I always make a joke about the people that come on my Q&As. It's like I follow up with them until they block me. And it's the same thing with just with everything else. It's relentless pursuit of eyeballs on my content. And one lady was like, oh, I'm just not interested. And then I kept posting my results. But right before I would post my results, I would go back and like her last 4 posts on Facebook. And it absolutely worked. After about 2 weeks of doing that, all of a sudden she messaged me first. So it is kind of funny. It does work. My value offer or whatever, however you want to put it, that I've been trying, and same thing in my first email, is offering a free 15-minute Zoom call, asking any questions you want, whatever. Is that it's just not working? Is that just stupid?
I don't think it's stupid. I think everything's worth a shot.
In other words, test everything.
Yeah. What I'm looking at you right now, Albert, you remind me of one, because you're promoting somebody else's thing right now, right? 4 months into that.
Yes.
Right around that time frame, my first 4 months, I went 6 months promoting the One Funnel Away challenge because I wanted to be top 10. I wanted to get that trip they awarded us with. And awesome. I knew I had a shot because most of the big players only promoted for a couple of days and fell off. I'm like, I'm going to go in 6 months. I'm going to be on that board. But it took me until then, till like Steven again asked me the question, like, say, dude, you're in this room for a reason. You did something to get these results. people want to pay you to learn what you did to get those results. And in my mind, I'm like, it's just stuff no one's going to be willing to do, which was a false belief. The truth is you're doing something right now to get yourself a top 1% of results in this industry. Like, it might not seem like a ton of money to you. What, 25 grand since you started?
Yeah, it's all on my profile. If you
but that's that's top 1%. And that just shows that you're doing something that's working, and it's going to get you to 1 million. And then it's going to get you to that next goal, whatever it is. Probably won't be a monetary goal at that point.
But Doug, it just never feels like it's quick enough.
I know.
And I know everybody says that.
What it will be more in alignment to you is you go roll out your own offer. And I know you're probably making some good money promoting this other guy or girl, but I would say you got the results. Go and at least think about what you would show people to be doing to go out there and start getting the result that you're getting, or how to find a program that why'd you pick that program? Why'd you align to it? Because a lot of them are picking the wrong programs.
I knew, and I don't want to, I'd say his name. It was just you and I chose his program, and I spent money for his one-on-one mentoring and stuff like that. So we do a weekly call together and all that stuff. I knew him 3 years ago, and I didn't end up doing anything because my father passed away around the same time. And I was like depressed, not doing much, whatever. And then December 28th, I reached out to him, and I'm like, you know what? I've waited long enough. January 7th, I paid the money and started. And don't ask me why I remember dates. I just happen to remember dates, but
it's a big date.
So that's it. But I mean, it's fun. It's neat. It just drives me nuts because I feel like, like everybody, they want to make results yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you're programmed to watch the other guys that, buy an ad and scale and make $1 million in 90 days. And I know whatever, but it's still hard not to get out of that mindset.
Yeah. The sexy thing, that people always want to sell the sexy thing, which is the money, the results, the thing they want. What doesn't sell is what they actually need to hear. So like in the beginning, here's what I used to do. I still do this today, I guess, right? Sell them what they want and give them what they need. So I would leverage the result I had. My first big result was $2,200 in a week. I sold 22 one funnel away challenges, just doing the down and dirty work, right? Setting out a free resource, following up with them until they'd buy the $100 thing. I get $100 commission, sold 22 of them in a week. My first webinars,
that's awesome.
$2,200 in a week and quit my restaurant job. But in that training, I taught them what worked. I basically told them story, like document the story, so you got to gain their attention, but then give them what they really need. And if you guys look, if we go back to my main Facebook group, content creators community, and you look at the guide here, I just documented the journey from the beginning. So if you have a community, I would recommend doing this because I still go back to this almost every time I teach a live training. Like I could look at my first 500 group members, 1,000, 2,000, why I quit my job, how I got started promoting ClickFunnels, my first offer, my first mentor, my first speaking gig, like a lot of the first time I met Russell, my first leaderboard. So I just started documenting all these things and just documenting the journey here. So,
that's awesome.
Right. And it's like, just go back and you start that by starting now. And if you have 0 results, you all have a story, you all have some struggles. We all do. It's like, that's never going to stop. It's about how you deal with them. What I do till this day, I'm in the struggle right now of I'm doing really well with our Full-Time Freedom Academy, my monthly event. I simplified from 42 offers. I killed off everything. Russell Brunson's Inner Circle gave me this clarity. I had 42 offers. I was confused. My team was confused. My audience was confused. Now we pivoted. We do one event a month. That event, we invite them to our academy. That's the only thing I do. However, now I see a lot of my clients getting amazing results, and they go hire coaches that I believe can't, I don't know how to say this right, but like they're getting taken advantage of by some big names, and like they're not getting it. I know if I had an offer to solve their next level problems, we could all go further together. So my next thing right now is like, well, what are the problems my clients are facing now? When you start making 6 figures a month, new problems arise, right? Now you got to handle a team and systems and bottlenecks. So for the last 6 months, I've been writing down all the things I'm struggling with for scaling a business from where I am now to, $500,000 a month, which is our goal. So now it's like every day, I don't just focus on the negative stuff, but I want to write down, like, how am I feeling? What am I solving today? What are the problems? What are the bottlenecks? Because now I know when I go to launch our high ticket mastermind in a few months from now, I know the problems that I worked through, and I remember how I felt in that problem, so I could communicate that to attract the right people that are solving the same problems for themselves. So it's like, let me write down how I feel and the problems I'm having, and what am I doing each day to solve that problem? That's going to become your offer. And then you just simplify it, simplify it, simplify it. And now you have the marketing, the message to communicate that to people, and you have the process to help them solve that problem. So I would suggest all of you who are struggling, just be the person that solves problems and document that journey. Share it publicly. People might not buy your offer tomorrow if they knew you were struggling yesterday with it. And just share with the things that you're healing. Like, don't share the wound while it's open, but go and solve it, heal it, and then say, here's what I was going through like last week. Here's how I'm solving it. In a month or from now, and they're like, hey, I've solved this thing. I know the framework. I know the process. I remember I was feeling like this. Now I feel like this. Here's the offer. I got 10 spots open. That's like the first offer you can go and help people with. So I think we all start somewhere. Albert and I both started promoting somebody else. And then people started asking me questions about how I was getting results in that. I just started presenting how to build a community, how to document the journey, so you use the results to sell it, but give them what they really need, which is like the unsexy thing that the right people will stick around for and actually do.
Makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But to answer your ultimate question, I know we've been rambling for a bit, but hopefully it's getting some clarity for some people here too. The challenge, keep it simple. Especially, you can launch a challenge to keep selling the program you're selling, or you could eventually pivot once you have the framework and do something for your own offer. And I think that even just the practice of implementing it, if I were to build a challenge to promote somebody else's offer, I would find out what are the top bottlenecks people are having to seeing the value in this process. Why don't they believe that they can do it? What don't they believe in the process? And I'm gonna spend day 1, 2, and 3 showing them how they can believe in the process, believe in themselves, and implement the process to get started. And then day 4, I'm going to show them what's the big question they have. It's probably a traffic question. How do they get traffic? You go over your traffic sources. And then day 5 is ultimately what they really want: conversions. They want to get people to buy the offer. Here's how we're going to do it. You show them how to stack a bonus. And by the way, here's my bonus. When you take up on this person, by the way, this is the person I chose as a mentor because of X, Y, and Z. And maybe even get a video clip, or even better, get them to come spend 5 minutes to say hi to everybody in your challenge and help you close, because it's going to benefit them in the long run anyways.
Right.
Like, that's kind of the challenge model I would think to do. And then I would just get really good at that, and to the point where you're like, you know what, I'm going to go teach something on my own. I'm going to make my first offer where I keep 100% of it. I don't have to, make an offer where I only keep 25 or 45%, whatever it is.
For the people that are like me, or new, only a few months, still building a following and so on and so forth, what would be a goal, like a reasonable goal for people inside the challenge? And should you always charge for the challenge?
I would start, I did my first ones free. Actually, I did 14 challenges free before I knew, again, I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know I could charge for a ticket. I didn't see my worth, my value back then. But then people were getting sick results. I'm like, I'm going to start charging for a ticket. And I think even this is undercharging. So I would start, it depends. If you have an audience, charge a ticket. I don't care if you only sell 10 tickets. 10 paid members is better than 1,000 free people. I promise you that. Because if you have 10 people that bought a ticket, I bet you all 10 of them buy your offer, or at least close to 10 buy it. Where else could you get a 90% conversion rate? Nowhere. But yeah, I mean, I would, even us, we start from scratch every month, pretty much. Like, and we typically enroll about 50. Our biggest event is 100 paid tickets a month.
Wow.
But I would say 25. Go out there and try to get 25 people to buy a ticket to your event. I mean, it might be 10 conversations a day for 30 days. That's 300 conversations. Guarantee you 25 of them will buy a ticket to your event if they continue to see the way that you show up and you're consistent. From there, if you have the right things in place, I think you'll get the majority of them to finish the event. So let's say 20 finish. I've seen people make 50 grand by selling a $5,000 offer to less than 20 people in a challenge.
Wow.
So, I mean, the conversions are there in the more intimate events, especially if they paid to be there. I'm not saying like, hey, at the end of the day, if you could just do it once and get some kind of result, even if you bomb it, even if you get 25 people there and no one buys your 5K offer at the end, you get feedback. That's 25 people that you spent so much time with them that I guarantee you, as long as you didn't like cuss them off, that they're going to spend 15 minutes on Zoom with you to answer some questions. And that's feedback. I'd be like, hey, like you spent the entire week with me. Can I just ask you, like, really, like, is this going to be helpful for me? Tell me raw and the truth. Why didn't you take the offer? What'd you like about the offer? What didn't you like? What were some of the things you were telling yourself? Now I got feedback. I'm going to go run that event again. And I'm going to leverage what they were telling me to fix the offer, fix the positioning, fix the conversation each day, and do it. And then I guarantee you'll get a conversion the second time you run it. You just keep doing that. You know, you keep just doubling down on things that are working with the feedback you're getting. And we evolve our event every month. We make it different. We make changes based on what we're hearing.
No, I appreciate the information, Doug.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
You got it, Albert. Great questions. We should probably wrap unless there's like one last dire question I'd love to answer for I see Terry, Angela, Ruben, you guys have been patient. If you're still here and you guys got something for me, let's do one more. Who's going to take it? Just, you can raise your hand or I'll just ask you on mute. Cool. Take care, Haley.
Take care, Haley.
Okay. Hi.
Angela, how are you?
How are you?
Oh, I'm great. How are you? Thank you so much. I just hopped on the tail end, but I have been on Russell and Pedro's challenge this week, which has been really insightful. And like you're touching on that as well. So with AI and automation, for you to scale, are you utilizing that to get to 500,000?
With AI, I'm just going to mute you for background. I'll bring you back on in a second. There's a little echo. So AI, the way I look at it is like, I know that people that don't use it are missing out. I'm still trying to navigate what can I use and still have me in it. So for example, I don't want to use AI to write my emails. I don't want to use it to write my copy. It's like what I love doing, right? And I think it's the foundation of my messaging. So what I want to do is pour out what I want to speak about in my content and start with, I do best at long form. So like I write out slides for these trainings usually every week. I will write out content in long form posts, and then I could use that to have AI look at what am I missing and make it better, enhancing it, right? But I don't want to use AI as like a do it all for me kind of thing. But I can use AI to take what I'm writing to make it better, turn it into emails, turn it into short form content, blog posts. Like what we're going to start doing is taking this weekly video, feeding it to AI. There's a tool that Theo's been looking into that can transcribe it and then write a blog article out of the training that I put together. So like, there's a lot of cool things AI can absolutely do, but I don't want to be the person to rely on it for everything. So I am interested in tools. And I think we're so new, kind of like when the cryptocurrencies came out, people invested in all kinds of stuff and like 90% of them went under. But I want to know that 10% of the tools are going to be here in 6 months from now, 12 months from now. And those are the ones I go all in to learn and implement. So I'm looking at it as a marathon, not a sprint. But I think that everyone here should be at least learning a little bit about AI. You don't know how to name your challenge? Go open up ChatGPT and say, I'm running a 5-day event. Here's my goal. Here's who it's for, who here's not for. Here's the result they'll get. And I need 10 names, and see what it spits out for you. I've used it to name my events. I've used it to name my communities, come up with subject lines, what questions to ask Dan Kennedy last week. I used ChatGPT to help me come up with that. So hope that's helpful. And I think if it scares you like it scares me, lean in a little bit and just get started with the open AI, because that's not going around. Everything's being built on top of open AI.
I'm actually hopping on Shanae Murray on LinkedIn next week. They're actually going through a bunch of other platforms. So I'm leaning into it. I think it's definitely something to lean into and utilize, especially being a mom too. Like I want to be able to help my boys like navigate because it's all going to change, right? But I think you're right. It is a marathon and not a sprint. And there are so many companies that are coming out. So it's good to just, I guess, decipher which ones will work and play with it as you go. So I think that's great.
Yeah.
But so as far as scaling that, so you're utilizing automation with that as well. Is that through ClickFunnels?
Yeah. So So the way I look at scaling is it's really finding what's working right now for us and making sure we have, number one, people in place and then systems in place and to drive the volume. So first, for tech stack, at least we use ClickFunnels for our funnels. I use Kajabi for course areas. I will be merging to 2.0 because I'm a ClickFunnels person. I love ClickFunnels, and at the end of the day, so the tools are the tools, but I do see Kajabi being replaced by 2.0 or being at least a compromise and keeping it all under one roof. The way that I'm looking at traffic for us right now, and just hearing Grant say that he didn't start running ads till 2019, like that was only a few years ago. Like that guy's been around a while. His thing is attention through content. So now that I have a team and we're getting the roles dialed in, and I've had a team for a while now, but we have been kind of just like, we'd meet in the mornings and just say, we're going to do this and you're going to do this. And we didn't really have definitions or KPIs. So it's starting there and really figuring out what our targets are, how we're going to get there on a quarterly basis, monthly basis, weekly basis. We meet weekly. We all know what we're doing. We're still dialing this in a little bit, but now we're really clear on, for the most part. And we know percent of projects that are completed each week and what they're going to mean for our growth when we finish them. So now that we're getting a few things rolled out, I would say the biggest contributing factor to scaling for me is me personally creating content. I need to increase the volume of stories, short form, long form, written. We're talking omnipresent. And we're talking not just this short form stuff that most people do. I really want to go to this second wave of content, which I see a lot of people don't do, which is SEO, blog, LinkedIn, Pinterest. Like these are very SEO friendly things that I think are better than, Instagram and Facebook. I've only been on Instagram and Facebook and now a little bit of TikTok here and there, but where we're missing the mark is long form content to go to blogs, be repurposed into SEO friendly content like LinkedIn and Pinterest and things like that. So I'm building out this second arm of our content team. Really, Theo's kind of helping me come up with what that looks like as Leslie and Randy run the short side, and marrying those two, making sure they're working in congruency with where we're going. And we're just going to increase volume like crazy for content. Second stage of this will be to look at the content that's working and start running more paid advertising to expand the reach. And then the third phase is a partner program. So we're going to be rolling something out where people who want to link up with us and share our free resources, get commissions for selling tickets to our event, selling and then enrolling people into our programs. That's the third thing. And then I think the final piece is, here's where I'm really aiming to get to. I just want to do this. I want to be on your stages. I want to be talking to your audiences. I want to be teaching my framework to your masterminds, your coaching clients. I've noticed like out of our last 100 clients, at least 10 of them came from one program specifically that I taught my framework into. He's a higher level entrepreneur. I did a live training on gamification, 5-day challenge gamification, and 10 clients came from his mastermind to join my program. So now I'm thinking, imagine if I had 400, master classes embedded into all these other mastermind coaching programs out there that could potentially be 4,000 clients down the long run. And it's what I love doing. So I think that's the way I look at scale. Number one is content. Number two is looking at what's working and dialing in paid advertising. 3, getting an affiliate program. And number 4 is let's go and really get this into other people's masterminds, audiences, interviews, podcasts. Like, if you look at 10x stages, like really selling from stage using other people's platforms.
Sure, for sure. And yeah, it's collaboration, community. I mean, we need each other. I went to Elena Cardone's event last year, and I got to meet Sharon Lecter and Brennan Dawson, and I see how they're working it. So it's really nice. I mean, I unfortunately have been like the one on the ends, like the researcher of how the framework goes, like the macro, like kind of studying you guys for a while. And now I see it and I actually like love that. But what you're saying, I actually had a conversation with my friend tonight about doing a challenge together and calling it KISS, like keep it simple, sexy. And the concept of dating like these days, because it's so different, right? And post-COVID, people we're just a little different now. But utilizing, coming to your own, doing your own body transformation, et cetera, but utilizing other speakers and even Real Success Summit. They sell $100 courses every weekend, like Danielle Delgado and Sharon Lecter again and Forbes Riley. It's really kind of cool to see that and to get on those stages. And I think that what you're doing right now is really awesome. And I like your approach. And that's why I hopped on tonight. I was like, oh geez, can I catch it? So thank you so much for taking my question and
of course.
And talking and coaching with us. So thank you.
And thanks for being here. I think one thing that's fascinating for me is when I look at my first course I ever put out there, I didn't feel like an expert at all. But I knew the topic I wanted to help people with was looking at a platform like ClickFunnels and ultimately just seeing that there's so many things you could do with it, but choosing one way to monetize. So I looked at how I was trying to make money. I was trying too many things. I was trying to be a funnel designer. I was trying to do local lead gen agency. I tried to create a course. I was doing e-commerce, physical products, and affiliate. That's why I wasn't making any money. I was trying all 5 things. Realized the thing I really was good at was the affiliate side. So I launched a program called 5 Ways to Monetize ClickFunnels, and I taught one module in that program. It was 6 weeks. Week number 1, I brought in Catherine Jones to teach funnel design. Week 2, I brought in Jeff Miller to teach agency. Week 3, I brought in Austin Dixon to teach course creation and webinar. Week 4, I brought in Peter Prue to teach e-commerce, and then I taught the affiliate side of things. Week 6, we helped them decide on one of those things to go all in on and make a decision and just go focus on one path. And it was that collaboration where I obviously got paid when people bought that course, but when they chose somebody other than me to go work with, like Peter or Catherine or Austin or Jeff, I would make a commission on their course. So it was really fascinating where it was a collaboration on, and I was new and I didn't know if they were going to say yes to me, but I went to them with the vision. I said, here's what I'm doing. They loved it. They were on board, and ultimately saw that my commitment to it was long-term and they were going to get clients from it. And all it did was take them one hour to go film a masterclass in that course. So remember, there's multiple personas you can be. You can be the reporter as the attractive character, and that's the reporter. Go be the reporter and interview people to get them to share their knowledge. Like we could all do that, right? So thanks for bringing that up, Angela. And I'm going to wrap. I know we've been here probably our longest Thursday session in a while. I guess I missed some of this connection. I've been traveling a lot, but thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for sticking around, and hope to see all of you in our event next week. We'll do more of this. We'll do it for 5 days in a row, starting Monday. I can't promise you I'll be live for 3 hours, but sometimes it happens. But in this event, I'm more action oriented. Like I really want to give you the one thing to do each day, go and implement. We'll have a discussion on VIP afterwards, and I'll make sure I don't leave until everyone's questions are answered, even if it takes me, a few days to get through everybody, which is usually what the case is. But looking forward to seeing you all there. If you are looking to sign up later, you can't miss the link. It's on my profile. I'll just share with you guys a few different places you could find our challenge link. Actually, we might have taken it off our profile now that I'm thinking about it. I might have to go add it back. But we'll just drop it in the chat one more time. Yeah, guys, why did we take off our link to the challenge? I think we're just focused on the toolkit. But go through my toolkit. I want you guys could reverse engineer that for yourselves. It's a free course. My challenge link is everywhere on the inside of it. My email marketing is like designed to get you through the free resource and then into the challenge. So go reverse engineer that and set something like that for yourself. That's our number one traffic source for our challenge, by the way. People finding our toolkit, going through and buying a ticket to our challenge through there. And then we reinforce it with these weekly live trainings where I do a call to action to join our challenge at least once a week. Where people could like that are skeptical, that never met me before, they could come to this event and see what I'm about. And sometimes it takes that personal connection for them to make a decision to come buy a ticket to our event. But in our event, we're going to go a lot deeper. Everything has a lot a more direction. I'm all about action steps. So we'll give an action step each day. By the end of the week, I just hope to get you clarity in who you serve, the offer you're putting out there, how to increase the value of it, and how to present it one to many so you can make sales without jumping on calls and really going down that model most people teach. You know, go make your first 6 figures, make your first $1 million. You don't have to build the sales team to do it. And then later on, when you get to that point, then if you want to, you can actually go and hire a couple of salespeople to, pick up the things that you don't end up enrolling, right? But I find the people that make the decision to buy one to many are the best clients. And that's why I'll probably stick for that process for a while in the future. But thank you, Ruben. Thanks for being here. Angela, Terry, Theo, Leslie, Jill, for being on camera this whole time. You're awesome. Albert, Candy, Marina, Corey, Kelvin, Anjali, Joe, Jody, and Kathy. Appreciate all of you. And we'll see you either next week in the challenge or maybe even tomorrow in the group if you guys decide to join that community. If not, we'll see you guys in the following week once our event is over. But hope to see you in our event. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.